of a prosecution witness. A U.S. diplomat testifies at the corruption trial of New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez.
One of the accusations facing Senator Menendez is that he pressured an agricultural official so that his friend Wael Hanna would become the sole certifier of halal meat imported to Egypt. James Brett Tate was a diplomat stationed in Cairo until 2019. He testified he didn't think it was a good idea for Egypt to drop every single other certifier except for Wael Hanna's company, which he said was inexperienced and new, but that in the end, it was Egypt's decision.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal, Hanna, and another businessman are on trial with Menendez. America is listening to Fox News.
You know, since 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation has been committed to supporting our nation's first responders and veterans. They support America's heroes like U.S. Army Major Jonathan Turnbull. Now, Major Turnbull sustained devastating injuries at the hands of an ISIS suicide bomber. Tunnel to Towers gave him a specially adapted smart home designed for his needs. Join Tunnel to Towers. They're hoping all of us will donate $11 a month so this great work continues. Their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org.
Hear that? The sound of water being poured on 800-degree rocks. If you were here in this sauna, you'd be so hot you wouldn't have the energy to move. But you're not here. Because your self-care happens out on the road, riding your motorcycle protected by Progressive. Besides, after a long ride, a helmet sweat is way more satisfying. So if you ride, switch to Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer, without even breaking a sweat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Look out. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis, sidekick producer and sports wreck on tour extraordinaire. The mechanical mangler at the controls, you know him as Flounder. And oh my goodness, it's Monday.
Oh, the day I was born.
How you doing, boys? Weather cleared, sun's out, doubleheader with the Braves. It's always fun to drive it into the old daytime parking. What we losing another one, did we there, Pete? Is that...
They in the midst of blowing a 5-0 lead.
Oh, boy. You know, I was so thrilled last night for a moment there because I was watching the Braves on a baseball game with the Braves on ESPN. I thought, wow, this is great. 6-0. What the hell? Yeah, that was not... I lasted till like 9-0. I said, I just can't do it. I just, so... Anyway,
I don't know what's going on with it.
I don't know. Anyway, and Flounder, how were you in the building of the Den of Darkness in there, sir? Is everything...
All is well. Had a fun weekend.
Description... elaborate, Miss Veronica.
We went to Costco and got a paddleboard because you know how I live right on the river.
Oh, no kidding.
So we got a paddleboard and we went out to the dock and took it out and actually took Winston out on there.
Oh, my God.
And then we were taking the bottom of it has a fin for navigation and stuff like that, and I took it off and it fell in the water.
Oh, no.
So I had to jump in the old Chattahoochee River for the first time of the year, a little brisk.
You didn't breathe any water in, did you?
No. It wasn't too bad, but it was definitely cold.
Now, wait a minute. A paddleboard that you all got on?
The paddleboard itself can get up to 300 pounds, so it can fit the three of us fine. But no, it was just Veronica and Winston went on a few times, and then I went by myself a few times.
All right, I'm trying to think of what a paddleboard. I'm thinking of something
else. It's like
else.
A very big surfboard with
Pete Davis is saying, wait a minute, there's no way you get 3 people and a dog on a paddleboard.
No, when he said paddleboard, that he got a paddleboard over the weekend for them to enjoy. My mind went totally different.
She got the board out and he paddled the crap out of her. Well, it was so close, so very close.
A fun weekend was had by all.
A paddleboard, where you stand on it and then you have a paddle, you stand on it and then you swim. And they're wide enough that you could put a dog on there. I think I'd be scared to death.
He was nervous at first, but he really started to enjoy it.
I'll be damned. Now, do you have a doggy life preserver? Have you ever
we didn't have one, but we were very careful.
Can he swim? By the way,
I'm not sure. He actually fell in for like a good 2 seconds, and he was able to get out real quick. But that was the first time he had actually fell in a big open thing of water.
And the Chattahoochee, man. The last time I was in the Chattahoochee, holy cow, it had to be 1973 or 4 probably. And we were doing inner tube races, or not? We're not. Take that back. The wife, my starter wife who loved me, and I, and another couple next door. got inner tubes, and we got the one big blown up with tire inner tubes, and we lashed them all together with rope. So we had the 4 of us and 4 inner tubes, and then a 5th inner tube carried all our cooler of beer and wine stuff like that. And we're floating down the Chattahoochee, and all of a sudden we got to a rough spot, a real bad rough spot, and my wife went flying. And so all of a sudden I turned around, and she was ahead of me, and all of a sudden I looked back, and all of a sudden, boom, she's out. She got hit by a rock and went flying out of this huge truck inner tube. And so I jumped out, and I held on to the 5 inner tubes with one arm while it being crashed into the rocks, trying to wait for her to catch up to me. And I grabbed her by the hair and threw her onto the inner tube. In the meantime, my legs were all bleeding and still cracked out. It's unbelievable. It's hysterical.
The Chattahoochee River is only 3 feet deep.
That's what the problem was. She couldn't stand up. She couldn't get her pitch. She couldn't stand up or do anything. Again, it was flowing so fast that 2-3 feet deep with rocks, and she was being bounced over the rocks, and so was I, trying to get her back on the inner tube. And it was only like a 100-yard straight. I mean, it wasn't that big a deal, but it was shallow enough where she couldn't get up. She couldn't turn over or anything. I mean, believe me, I'm not making this up. Ask her.
You make it sound like the Ocoee or none.
I'm telling you, it was probably 2-3 feet deep, but it was swift enough where she couldn't just stand up. She was being battered along the rocks, head first. So I grabbed her by the hair and threw her up on the inner tube, and eventually climbed up on there. But oh man, that was on
the inner tube.
On the inner tube, yeah. Oh hey, later climbing was a whole different thing. Anyway, but I haven't been in that Chattahoochee. I mean, let's see. I'm trying to remember. That's the last time I think I was actually on the water in any capacity. And Pete Davis, your weekend, sir, what? No.
I got my first sore throat head cold in like 20 years. I can't remember the last time. So I basically spent the entire weekend watching baseball on the couch and sweating it out.
Yeah.
I never had a sore throat like that before.
That's my daily allergy situation. Actually, that my eyes closing,
really?
I can't breathe. It's brutal, but I'm very susceptible to the allergy. I used to get shots twice a week, as I mentioned before. Anyway, and by the way, thanks for asking. My weekend was filled with basically just a couple of sweet things. Went to the stable, and then Flounder. We got to do a golf thing. I went to the golf course Saturday.
How'd you hit?
And I picked a perfect time to go where it wasn't crowded. And I'm telling you, I found it. I found my swing that I can do at my age and my weight. I've lost 50 pounds and I'm, old. Well, but I found a swing. I've never hit it more solid. If I do my swing, I have to really concentrate. But when I do it, I found it that I can do enough of a balance and a spine angle to keep the thing going. Yes.
What was the name of the guy who had your swing?
Thank you. I couldn't find it. And I did that Saturday.
Hey, give that back.
I did that Saturday, and then I did the same damn thing on Sunday. And I'm telling you, I was now I haven't practiced my short game or anything like that. So I'm sure if first time I go out and first time in 6 years, I'm going to suck. But still, I'm so excited. And of course, now I don't play. So
we're going to get on the tees here in a couple weeks. So just be patient.
Anyway, so that'll be fun. So there we go. Now we got a million things. We got a whole bunch of newsy stuff. We'll talk a lot about politics. It's 3:09, by the way. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Our number is 404-741-1230, 741-1230. We love phone calls, especially at what have President's stupid face in town. By the way, what a freaking insult to all of us. You'll hear several sound bites, and also when he shows again how stupid he is and he can't remember anything about his own career, but also the hate and divisiveness, and why does he think that screaming is leadership? Every single time he tries to make a point of how tough and strong he is and everything else, he just yells. He's just an old screaming man. I mean, sir, he's a caricature of a screaming old man. Get off my lawn. And frankly, the divisiveness and the hate. Remember, he's the guy who's going to bring us all together.
Yeah.
If anybody says a bad thing in my administration, they're fired immediately. Remember that? Please. I'm sick and tired of him blaming me and everybody else for some kind of downfall of some kind of democracy. As though I'm I'm some kind of a threat to freedom and liberty in America. Them's fighting words, you bastard. Say that to my face and I'll punch you in the nose. Because you'd be asking for it. And the Secret Service has all right then to wrestle me to the ground and punch me in the nose. In fact, I once again make my challenge. I challenge the President of the United States to a fist fight. A fist fight, no weapons, no nothing. Shorts and T-shirts, and we'll have a fight to the end. I challenge him. I'm almost his age. I've had cancer and a heart attack. I'm wearing a pacemaker. Screw you. Dirty, rotten scumbag. I hate this. He's a divider and a hater. And I'm sick and tired of him accusing us, who love our country, of somehow trying to ruin it. and screaming and yelling and calling me names and using Marines in the background with red fire like the gates of hell or something, saying the MAGA Republicans are a threat to democracy. Kiss my ass. Sorry, I'm just, wow. Honestly,
you're a threat, but you're a threat to their
exactly
hold on power.
Exactly. I'm definitely a threat to what they are doing to my country. I'm definitely a threat to what they're doing to my country. Absolutely. Now, if that's a threatening thing, again, I'm not threatening the president of the United States, so don't even try federal Gestapo investigation. I bet they're up there in the top deck now putting something in my trunk. Anyway, like a dead body. Another one, God. You know the paperwork you got to fill? Oh, never mind.
No, that'd be too much of a coincidence if they were doing that.
I was going to say, how many times can that happen before you know? I catch on to you. God. So we got a lot of Donald Trump stuff and Michael Cohen, and I can't wait for the jury instructions. In fact, they may be close to arresting. I hope he calls at least 2 more witnesses, the Trump team, and then after that, I guarantee they're not going to call Donald Trump. There's no way they're going to call Trump to the stand. It'll be way too risky, and they don't need to. And I hope the judge's jury instructions are. I'm looking forward to that because there's 2 things he needs to do, and I bet he won't. I will talk about it. Also, President Potato Head will have his comments, and I found this guy on the libs of TikTok found this guy on a beach. Do we even know where the beach is? Offhand, I don't.
Well, there's a bunch of places where you can go to the beach.
No, I'm the guy. Very funny. What's the code? I guess. Well, it's a series of numbers, you bastard. Now he's got you doing it. Do we know where this guy?
It was off the Twitter account is End Wokeness, and it was just a guy on a beach somewhere.
A guy having a great time at the beach, and there's some people on the beach that posted an American flag. They have an American flag on the beach where they're doing their picnic, whatever, and this guy's totally offended. Yeah, and we'll talk about that too. Also, the estranged wife and Nathan Wade and Fannie
Atlanta Radio,
and that whatever that was there, we got that too for you. Also, United Nations crap, stay out of it. Transgender guy gets booed. Israel says I didn't do that. Actually, Madison. Also, if you're going deaf, are you going senile? This sounds bad to me. 313-404-741-1230. Give her Pete and Flounder. You're going to hear it all coming up next on Monday. Go Braves. Come on, make a comeback or something. Second game.
Atlanta radio legends collide on Extra 106.3. The legend Neil Bortz is live every week with Atlanta legend The Kimmer. Because when you get these 2 guys together, who knows where we'll end up?
I am shocked. Well, not that shocked.
The Kimmer is live on your drive home every weekday afternoon from 3 to 6. And now Neil Bortz joins this show every week. And if you miss it, catch up anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
Electrify your senses with user-friendly technology and earth-friendlier power. Meet the all-electric 2024 Mercedes-Benz EQE 350 sedan. Satisfying for both drivers and passengers with innovations that only Mercedes-Benz can deliver. Experience the all-electric 2024 Mercedes-Benz EQE 350 sedan today. Lease one for just $669 per month for 36 months with $68.13 due at signing, exclusively from RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details on this vehicle and many other models, and visit today to see how to qualify. Special lease rate available only to qualified customers exclusively from Mercedes-Benz Financial Service through RBM of Atlanta Sandy Springs through May 31st, 2024. Excludes tax, tag, title, and Georgia Lemon law fees. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details on this and other exciting offers. Visit rbmofatlanta.com or call us at 770-390-0700 for details.
Do you know that most people describe remodeling as stressful? Does that sound like your experience? Hi, this is Candace from Excavations, and I got a tip for you. With Excavations as your partner, you'll get a completely different remodeling experience. How? Well, besides covering the very basics like showing up on time, cleaning up your property each day, not smashing your flowers or bushes, and not pressuring you to buy today because this huge deal expires tonight. We also cover the big things like a written project schedule so you know when workers are coming and when they're not. A fixed price quote so you're guaranteed that what you pay is exactly what you committed to up front. and a design of what your home will look like, so you're not left guessing if you're even going to like the finished product. Discover what stress-free remodeling looks like and schedule your free quote today at exovations.com. That's EXOVATIONS.com.
Hey, it's Lowe's for Skag and Howard Brothers. There's a Skag mower that is perfect for the homeowner. The Skag Liberty Z is specifically designed for the homeowner who wants a high-quality mower but does not need a large commercial-grade unit. Now, you can buy something that will last and perform at a very high level. The Liberty Z is designed, manufactured, and assembled Skag tough, just like every other Skag product. You can't get Skag power equipment at a big box store. You've got to go to your locally owned and independent dealer like Howard Brothers. The grass is always greener when you take care of it with Skag and Howard Brothers.
Hey sandwich lovers, today's your lucky day. There's a whole new way to roll for lunch or dinner delight with Nucky's Hoagies in the Roswell Corners Shopping Center. Now open. Nucky's Hoagies in Roswell is family owned and operated by the Sub Sisters, Stacy and Shannon, whose love language is food and Nucky's Hoagies, their passion. When you bite into a Nucky's Hoagie, you'll taste the difference. The softest hoagie rolls ever, along with hunger-quenching sandwich combinations. Make Nucky's Hoagies in Roswell on Woodstock Road your new favorite spot for lunch or dinner.
Millions of guys suffer from erectile dysfunction. That's 1 in 4 men. And I can tell you, I'm one of them.
If you or someone you know suffer from ED, Peyronie's disease, or PE, here's 38-year emergency room doctor and founder of Total Body Therapy of Georgia, Dr. Eric Deal.
Patients who enter my office are often frustrated, hopeless, depressed, and embarrassed. I understand the problem, and I'm going to help you fix it. There are lots of competitors that don't have the credentials that I have. When you go to other clinics, you're not going to see a board-certified physician with the experience that I have. When you come to our clinic, you're going to see me. There's just not one therapy that can solve these complex issues. I'll do a complete history and physical prior to any treatment that we use. Take it from me, Dr. Deal. When it's not hard, it's really hard.
Call Dr. Deal for your free one-on-one evaluation and resolve your ED, Peyronie's, or PE issues. Total Body Therapy of Georgia, 404-777-1911, 404-777-1911, online at stopmyed.com.
When it comes to protecting your assets and ensuring peace of mind, trust the expertise of Nelson Elder Care Law. Our Absolute Protection Trust is designed to provide unparalleled asset protection. Visit NelsonElderCareLaw.com to discover how our specialized services can safeguard your family's future and assets, offering you the assurance you deserve. NelsonElderCareLaw.com.
Look out. How you doing? It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. 318 with Pete Davis and Flounder. And the Rolling Stones, 2015, did a surprise gig at the Fonda Theater in Los Angeles, did the entire Sticky Fingers album. Jack Nicholson was there, Bruce Willis, Harry Styles, Leonard Cohen, and Patricia Arquette. There you go, here we go. What a group. I mean, think about it. Unbelievable. Our list of birthday people today include Timothy Olyphant. Timothy Olyphant is 56 years old. The underrated actor plays Drew Barrymore's husband on the Netflix horror comedy Santa Clarita Diet, but you may know him as Seth Bullock on Deadwood and the star of the FX show Justified. And Timothy Olyphant, I'll bet most people had never heard his name and may know his face, but it's kind of surprising. He's another guy, like we talked last week about the guy who did the Texas Ranger show or whatever the hell, the cowboy show.
Chuck Norris?
No, the other one. You remember, guy. Oh, I hate when I do this. I had the name, and all of a sudden he looked like Tom Selleck. It was a Tom Selleck lookalike guy.
Horsley.
Lee Horsley. Yeah, there you go. Anyway. Timothy Olyphant.
Timothy Olyphant is 1,000 times better than Lee Horsley.
True. Yeah, true. I'm surprised he hasn't been a bigger star. I mean, I'm totally agreeing. 320, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. And on this day, now this is very bizarre. On this day in 1916, Cordell, Kansas got creamed by a tornado, the first one they know they've ever had. 1916, Cordell, Kansas, horrible tornado. On this day, 1917, Cordell, Kansas, hit by a tornado exactly 1 year to the day by its second tornado ever. On this day, 1918, I'm not making this up, Cordell, Kansas, hit by another tornado exactly 2 years after it was hit by the first one, a year after it was hit by the second one. The third one was the most destructive, killed all kinds of people, and wrecked most of the town. Same day, 3 years in a row. Cordell,
sign.
Kansas. I don't know. By the way, there's a story that I will share with you a little bit later on. I think Peter Flounder, somebody found this thing about I remember a woman was missing, and the family called a psychic who found her after the police and dogs and everybody else could not. And she described over the phone, long distance, never met the people in the world, described the house, the belongings in the kitchen, what it was like, her friends. I mean, it's like she knew everything. Okay, 321, how you doing? Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, 404-741-1230, 741-1230. By the way, I did a Babe Watch this weekend. Holy cow, I put it on Facebook. Did I send you guys the advertising on the Golf Channel show? Oh, man. Oh, God. I mean, that's not fair to have that little Asian girl with the greatest set of legs on the LPGA Tour, probably, trying to distract people. It's just not, it's not fair. Oh, God. I mean, I just, it's not fair. It's just not fair. And I put it on YouTube and Facebook, and I've got it in my phone forever.
Awesome.
322. Well, I mean, and she's so sweet. Anyway, okay, stop. Michael Cohen admits he's a liar and a thief, ladies and gentlemen. Boom, ba boom, bam, boom. This is unbelievable. He's on the stand, and he admits that he didn't really give back everything he was supposed to get back when he got paid for a tech company thing he was doing, services for the Trump organization. And the Trump attorney this morning said, you stole from the Trump organization, right? He says, yes, sir. He testified that Trump people gave him a calculated $420,000 payment to make up for the payment to Stormy the Hormy. And then he was reimbursed through a couple of things. They gave him $50,000 to pay a company for its services. But the fact of the matter is that Cohen only gave the company $20,000 and pocketed the $30,000 extra that the Trump people gave him. He stole the money. And he admitted it. He said, now you lied to them about how much you needed for the Red Finch company, right? I said, yes, sir, I did. Have you paid back the Trump organization for the money you stole? No, sir. He said, well, the $30,000 was kind of like self-help because he was angry about his bonus getting slashed. This is Michael Cohen. The lawyer who formerly advised him, Robert Costello, testified before Congress. We talked about this last week. He said clearly what Cohen has said on the stand last week and in court is a complete lie. He testified that before Trump was indicted, I called all the interactions with Cohen, and I hope the Trump people call him as one. I think the Trump people may call two witnesses. One, they're going to call a guy who used to be the head of the Federal Elections Commission, and he's going to testify that Donald Trump did not break any laws. In fact, they knew about it when he was the elections guy, and they said, no, he didn't break any laws. That's why they never charged him. So they're going to do that to show Trump didn't break any laws. There was no crime committed. And the second one, I hope they call this guy Costello, because he's going to say, he's going to prove, and by the way, Costello is a lawyer who was representing and working to assist Michael Cohen. So, I mean, if there's another lawyer who knows another lawyer's a sleazebag and a shyster, it's him. So anyway, I hope the judge allows him to be called. If they do call him, he may not, I don't know. But I guarantee Trump's not going to take the stand. There's no way they will do it. They don't need to. They don't need to do that. And even if he's convicted, the appeal's going to overturn it, so it really wouldn't make any difference. Now, here's what I hope. Again, I'm not an attorney, but I have played one before, certain late-night bar activities. But that's a whole other issue. Doesn't mean that's follow me around now. But I hope the judge will instruct the jury. I hope Donald Trump's lawyers will request that the judge allow the jury to decide on a lesser charge than the felony. Much like if there's a murder case, the defense attorneys will say, well, we want to have a choice between first-degree murder and second-degree murder and manslaughter. So if the jury says, well, we think he's guilty of something, but we don't want to send him to death row, so the prosecution is in favor of it because at least he'll be convicted of something. On the other hand, in this case, I'll guarantee the prosecution will not want Trump's lawyers to get them to allow for a secondary charge because that would be a misdemeanor. And guess what? The statute of limitations for the misdemeanor charge of what he's charged with expired, so they'd have to throw it out. So in other words, if the judge allows Trump's lawyers to say we want to have a secondary charge account possible for the jury, if he allows it, it's probably over. It's probably over. And would even need an appeal. I don't know. Now, the other thing is the judge also, as I understand jury instructions, I think this is universal in the Constitution, but it might be state by state, so I don't know. But what I'm saying is, my assumption is, in most states, a judge's instructions to the jury will be that if you believe a witness under oath lied about one part of his story, you are allowed to dismiss all of it. pretend he never testified. That's a common jury instruction. So if if the guy's telling a story and then you caught him, well, he didn't spend the weekend with his wife. He was really cheating on her. And so if he lied about even one thing in the story, you have the right to say, well, then he's probably lying about all of it, or he could be lying about all of it, which is reasonable doubt.
He's a liar.
He's a liar. So I don't know how this could be anything but success for Donald Trump. Anyway, before I'm flabbering all of my flabba self here. First, let's do this, Flounder. Let's get the Donald Trump story. This morning, the morning guys those beautiful morning bastards got this sound. Donald Trump over the weekend, one of his speeches, decided to go off script and forget the teleprompter. And he made a couple of comments which are pretty funny, and one which I think was totally wrong, and he's done it before. Here's Donald Trump having fun.
But Americans are not struggling. This is the worst platform. Who put this stage up here? This is the worst. The frickin' place is falling down. It keeps tilting further left. Like too many other things. What a crappy contractor this was. He's all about disinformation. Pilots come in, he said, I used to fly a plane. Truckers come in, I used to drive a truck. People come in from Minnesota. I used to live in Minnesota. Right? He is so full of shit, this guy.
Oh, hey.
No, I have fake Tapper as they said.
Jake Tapper.
I just want to debate this guy, but and I'm gonna demand a drug test too, by the way. I am. No, I really am.
I'd love to see that.
I don't want him coming in like the State of the Union. He was high as a kite. Is that Joe up there? A beautiful robe? And by the end of the evening, he's like, well, it was exhausted, right? It's a funny thing. I don't know if you can see it out there. Does anybody have good eyes out there? Because this is... Okay, so I just got this today. Somebody handed it to me. So weird, and not as a joke. I said, anybody have any Tic Tacs? And the guy said, yeah, I have one. Look at the size of that sucker. Can you see that, Pete?
Not sure what he's doing here.
This is called Biden Tic Tacs. Can you see it, Tom? This costs more money than the one that was like 10 times bigger. This is inflation. That's a perfect... The guy actually handed me... Do you have any Tic Tacs? Yeah, here, take mine, sir. I said, what the hell is that? Thank you very much.
The only thing he did this 4 years ago when he was running the last time for president, when he made fun of the construction of the stage. Remember that? And I thought, the guy who built that stage is going to go forever saying, God, damn Trump made fun of my... I mean, you don't do that. You don't make fun of the people who put on your platform and built the stage for you and tell them they're lousy contractors. I mean,
maybe they are.
But still, that's not what you say at a rally when they're all been supporting you and showing up to support you, and you say, "Boy, this is really crappy construction. You guys really suck." I mean, oh my God! But that's Trump. That's why Trump's not my kind of guy, but he sure is my kind of president. But he's not my kind of guy because it's stuff like that. It came out of. It's just awkward and I don't know. But anyway, but thank God he'll be president again. I hope. Anyway.
How many presidential races have you won, sir?
Well, I know something about being annoying, mister. I know that part of it anyway. I may never have been president. By God, I can annoy people. I can do it for a living. It's coming up at 3:30. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. So there. Wait and see. You got more coming, too, Pally.
Hey, it's Flounder, and the Kimmer Show is live every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m.
I don't feel like talking about this stupid idiot Biden. What a scumbag! Where does he get the balls to come out and say, "I'm not even going to play the thing on the war and the money for Israel"? Where does he get the balls to say, "If you go into Rafah, we're not going to give you the weapons to go into Rafah"? I mean, my God!
The Kimmer Show every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
All right, standing by. Hey, 3:30. How you doing? Cameron, Pete, and Flounder. 404-741-1230 if you can join us. My buddies Jeff and Mark. In fact, Jeff's probably going to be texting me at some point this afternoon to correct me on something I got wrong. I love these guys. Jeff and Mark at Atlanta Safe House, home of the Kimmer safes. You know, I bought 2 gun safes from these guys. Unfortunately, didn't take anything down to Florida when I retired, and there go the old medical records, so the VA says there goes your benefits. But still, it's my fault. Don't be like the Kimmer, be better. Jeff and Mark will take care of you at Atlanta Safe House. And especially if you're a gun owner, have a new pistol or something, and maybe your family wants to make sure everything's get a pistol safe. You don't have to the big gun safes hold everything, and you kind of feel like a banker spinning the dial and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty cool. But they have pistol safes, and in fact, check them out on the web, atlantasafehouse.com, and you can see exactly what they offer to you. Very, very safe and cool. All the top brands, Browning, Voltec pistol, rifle safes, American Security, the whole deal. Not that little plastic thing you get at the drugstore with a little teeny key on it. And now, Jeff and Mark only use off-duty police and firefighters and military folks to deliver to say thanks for what you do as well. They've been doing this business for decades and decades. Their showroom is in Ackworth. Check it out and see what they can do for you like they did for the Kimmer. Put your Social Security card in that thing and all the stuff you want to save, not only medical records, living will, divorce papers, marriage papers, things you want to save. So my kids know where everything is. Protecting your assets. Tell them the Kimmer sent you. Look them up on the web, atlantasafehouse.com.
Join Second Chance Bail Bond CEO Daniel Madelon and host Tug Coward for the weekly radio show Back Your Blue. They will highlight special initiatives, criminal justice programs, and community events aimed at keeping our communities safer. Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. to learn some good news about and from the law enforcement and justice communities. Tune in on Saturdays or catch up on all past episodes wherever you get your podcasts or at thepodcastpark.com.
No one plans on going to jail, but when it happens, it's important that you know who to call. Call Second Chance Bail Bonds, where we believe everyone deserves a second chance. Whether your loved one's been arrested in Cherokee, Clayton, or any of the other metro Atlanta counties in between, Second Chance Bail Bonds works fast to help expedite release within hours. Second Chance. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call Second Chance 24/7 at 404-BAIL-OUT or online at atlbail.com.
The warm air, the beautiful weather, and the sounds of baseball. It's got you thinking about hitting the road. And no matter where your adventures take you, Subaru of Gwinnett has a vehicle to get you there safely and in style. Like the 2024 Subaru Outback, which will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive, plus up to 32 miles per gallon. And if you're up for adventure, it'll get you off the beaten path with up to 9.5 inches of ground clearance, more than the Honda CR-V or Toyota RAV4. Or the 2024 Subaru Forester, the SUV for all you love. It's the right size SUV for all the adventures ahead, with a spacious and comfortable interior for everyone you want to bring along. No matter where adventure takes you, it starts on Satellite Boulevard in Duluth with the amazing staff at Subaru of Gwinnett. They'll help you find the Subaru that you'll love and be there every step of the way for everything you need. Start your shopping online at SubaruofGwinnett.com.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
This is how you do heart compressions for someone when you try to do CPR. So, 1, 2, pump, 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 pump. This is true. See him walking down the sidewalk, baby. Strutting, baby. Come on, chickies. Little disco, throwing your coat up in the air, finger pointed up to the moon. Yeah, baby. Oh, my God. The Bee Gees. Ah, boy. They got teeth like the Kennedy family, but other than that, 2012, Robin Gibb, 1/3 of the Bee Gees, who helped turn disco into a global phenomenon by providing the core of the soundtrack to Saturday Night Fever. Robin Gibb died from cancer. He was 62. The Bee Gees hits, obviously Staying Alive. Massachusetts, I've got to get a message to you. That might have been my favorite song. I don't know why there's first. I really did like that song. Gotta get a message to you. I don't know. It was a guy being on death row or something, or a Civil War hanging or something. I don't remember. How Deep Is Your Love, Staying Alive. Pop Legacy placed their falsetto harmonies at the center of the 70s disco boom. That is for sure. Let's see here. I was going to do a different birthday. Well, I screwed up. I'll save this one for later. Hold on. Oh, everything's fine. Here we go. Let's see. This was interesting. 1873. Levi Strauss, an immigrant from Bavaria and a dry goods salesman in San Francisco during the gold rush. In 1873, a woman asked Levi to help make a pair of sturdier trousers for her husband to wear working in the mines. Again, this is the 49er rush in 1849, and by the 1873, he was in dry goods, so he took some tent canvas, and he got his friend who was a tailor, and they put some metal rivets at all the straining points of the tent canvas, making into a pair of pants at the crotch and the belt levels and stuff like that, and blue jeans were born. Levi Strauss, 1873. And because a woman said, can you make a pair of better pants for my husband, the miner? 404-741-1230. How's it going? It's only me. It's only the camera. Oh, by the way, you heard from Donald Trump. You're going to hear from President Stupid Face here in a minute. The freaking divide. I hate what this man's doing. I really do. I didn't watch him live over the weekend, and this morning I'm getting stuff all ready, and last night is what I hear it, and it just makes me angrier and angry. We've never... okay. Have you ever remembered a president who has attacked the American people, dividing them 50-50 as a threat to democracy? Have you ever heard another American president turn on the American people? I'm seriously. Any president saying, you 50% of you people are a danger to democracy and we have to shut you down. Mm-hmm. I mean, the balls on this guy. Anyway, but first, a follow-up on the Donald Trump thing. Of course, the court case is going on. I think he's still back on the stand. They're calling. They are calling the Costello. Thank goodness. Costello's the guy who was all over TV over the weekend and last Friday, I think it was, saying that he's going to prove that Michael Cohen's a liar. And they're calling him on the outstanding. This is very smart, and they'll never have to call Donald Trump. Anyway, we'll keep you posted. Now, speaking of Donald Trump, here we go. This is, they can't stop. The Cannes Film Festival. Today, I guess that's going on, and today there is a film called The Apprentice making its world premiere at the Cannes Film Festival today, directed by an Iranian-Danish filmmaker, and it provides a fictionalized account of the 1989 incident previously described between Donald Trump and his then wife, where Donald Trump is basically depicted as a rapist. Hold on, my stinking phone's doing... Stop doing that. God, I hate this. Okay, here we go. It goes into like a whole half thing on the phone. Stop it. Did it again. Here we go. The scene occurs near the end of The Apprentice, the movie, depicting Donald Trump reacting with fury after Ivana disparages his physical appearance. Quote, this is in the movie, quote, "You have a face like a blanking orange," she tells him. "You're getting fat, you're getting ugly, and you're getting bald." The future president is then, this is in the movie, the future president is then shown forcing his wife to the floor and raping her. "Did I find your G-spot?" he asks in the film. Well, in their divorce petition in deposition in 1990 of Ivanka, it says here, describes a similar assault after her husband's scalp reduction surgery. She claimed he pushed her to the floor and pulled out handfuls of her hair. She described what follows as she walked it back, saying, "We had marital relations in a way in which he behaved very differently toward me than he had during our marriage. As a woman, I felt violated. I referred to this as a rape, but I do not want my words to be interpreted in a literal or criminal sense." Well, anyway, now it's in a movie. I don't know. The guy, Jeremy Strong, plays the lawyer, Roy Cohn. Let's see. Cohn tells Trump, "Admit nothing, deny everything." Anyway, so there's a movie now blasting Donald Trump at the Cannes Film Festival. I mean, my guy might make it international. Now he's a rapist. I mean, holy smokes. Let's see. And by the way, again, I'm not a role model in this, my friends. If you're driving in the car with the kids, tell them to totally ignore everything I say. I hope he goes after everyone. I hope Donald Trump goes after every one of the people who have tried to make his life miserable and prevent him from just being what he wants to be and what he deserves and what he's earned to be. I hope he goes after every freaking one.
Swatoon's on the horn. He wants to chime in on the debates.
Excellent. Swatoon, you're on the radio. Happy Monday, sir. Nice to talk to you. How you doing? What's up?
I'm doing good. Hey, Kimmer, sorry to say, but if you fight Joe Biden, I would say I would put my money on Joe Biden because he's been everywhere, from truck driver to pilot to whatever.
That's right. I forgot. He's a cowboy. He's a motorcycle cop.
Exactly.
He's a kung fu expert. I think he trained, what's his name?
He trained Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris, yeah. Good point. I guess I better take that back. Oh, my God.
I was going to say about debate, what Trump needs to do before debate, it's wash his hair with a baby lavender soap. And they put lavender baby powder
baby
all over
shampoo.
And that would confuse Joe Biden as heck.
Yeah, get wafting over the aroma, wafting over the other podium or something.
And how awesome would be if he comes to Trump and just sniff him? That would be.
And you know what's going to happen? The first thing out of President Potato Head's mouth is going to be screaming and yelling, "Say you don't even deserve to be up on a stage, and you'll never be that." I mean, he thinks that screaming as leadership. And when's the last time he did anything that was inclusive, trying to bring the country together? Has he done anything to bring the country together other than use his political power to try to bribe young people from voting, getting their college loans taken care of and stuff like that? It's outrageous. Yeah, anyway.
Well, yeah, but remember, leftists, they all scream. That's the only technique they have.
Yeah.
And he sees that as like, wait a second, they are screaming. If I scream, they're gonna listen to me.
Yeah, I know, the loudest one. I mean, but again, it shows just the lack. He just doesn't get it. He has had such a great opportunity to continue the kindly old man thing. He didn't have to be doing this. He could have been the greatest kindly old man to bring us all together. Oh, don't listen to that. He's just, it's okay. We can. I mean, honestly, I can't believe how stupid the Democrat Party was that they didn't make the opportunity to get everybody kind of trying to get in together instead of making it so obvious that they hate us. But thank God they made it obvious, because now we know where they stand. We believe them.
Well, when Biden says about what's called saving democracy,
yeah.
He does not think about democracy of me and you being low-paying people or poor.
Right.
He's talking about elites.
Yeah.
Because remember, he told black people if they don't vote for him, they are not black.
Yeah, you're not
so
black.
Pretty much, he hates half of the country. He hates peasants like us because we don't follow the elites.
Yeah, you're right.
Way.
Swatoon, as always, a pleasure to talk to you, my friend. Hi to the family, and hope to see you again sometime very soon. 343 Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. By the way, what a disgrace. He shows up here in Atlanta, and almost nobody pays attention to him. He's mocked for nobody's apparently cared at all as he's doing his motorcade through Atlanta. Deep blue Atlanta, city of Atlanta, and some reaction. If a motorcade passes through town, but nobody cares, did it really pass through town? He said, Georgia's the reason I came. Georgia's the reason I'm president right now. I say, come to Georgia. The power of the vote in Georgia. Yeah, his motorcycle came there deep blue Atlanta, and nobody freaking cared. I mean, he can't draw a crowd. There were like 4 people waiting across the street. There were like 9 people. It's unbelievable. And Flounder, let's play a couple of sound bites here before we run out of time. First of all, he gets on, and once again, he starts screaming and telling black people how they should feel, and dividing the country with the president's stupid face.
To me, we make history, not erase it. We know black history is American history.
He's yelling. There are the claps. Boy, there must have been 9 of them there clapping. Wow. Oh.
Many of you graduates don't know me, but check my record. You know what I'm saying. I mean from my gut. We know black men are going to help us lead us to the future. Black men from this class in this university.
It's almost 9 people. Wow. That's
graduates, this is what we're up against.
Is that right, guys?
Extremist forces aligned against the meaning and message of more.
What?
Is that English?
We got more. You want to do a little thing? You then come back, play some more? You want to do
Howard Johnson?
Congressman in the White House telling me what to do, then I know what to do. You all think I'm kidding, don't you? You know I'm not. And it's the best thing that's happened to me.
And let's all remember the time when he pretended that he was in charge with Putty Tat. We got one more for the last one here, Flounder. I think it's pretty short. We'll wait if you want. We got the music playing, whatever you want to do. Go about the when he was in charge of the COVID campaign.
Oh yeah, here we go.
And when I was vice president, things were kind of bad during the pandemic. And what happened was, Barack said to me, "Go to Detroit and help fix it."
Okay, stop yelling.
Well, poor mayor, he spent more time with me than he ever thought he was going to have to.
Yeah, he was with the mayor of Detroit. Well, the fact of the matter is the pandemic, due to global health officials deeming it an outbreak in 2019 in the latter part of Donald Trump's presidency. He was not vice president during the pandemic, and Putty Tat never told him to go to Detroit and fix it. He just made it up. He pretended he was in charge of fixing the pandemic. Oh, my God. You think the mainstream media would point that out? I don't think so. 346, give repeat and Flounder. Good grief. Good.
The legend Neil Bortz is only on Extra 106.3. Hey, it's Tug, and here's what you missed from the Talkmaster.
This student rampage on college campuses across the country defies any rational explanation. This is mass hysteria based on complete ignorance.
Catch Neil's commentary every day on Extra 106.3 or listen anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
It's time to slide into summer at Truist Park as your Braves take on the Washington Nationals and Oakland A's May 27th through June 2nd. And don't miss 2 exciting giveaways like the Ronald Acuna Jr. NL MVP bobblehead presented by Delta on May 28th, followed by the Matt Olson bobblehead presented by Northside Hospital on May 30th.
Swung on and rocked down the left field line. Rolling down the line all the way to the wall. Braves will take the lead. 2-1 Atlanta here in the 4th.
And the CMT Hot Prospects Concert Series is back in the Battery Atlanta, featuring up-and-coming country artists every Friday throughout the summer. Previous artists have gone on to great success in the country music industry, and on May 31st, Chapel Hart will take the stage for a pregame concert at the Plaza Green. There's plenty of fun all week, and no better place to spend your Memorial Day and the first week of summer than Truist Park. Visit Braves.com/promos to get your tickets. Atlanta Braves baseball. We are Braves country.
This is Dan Watkins with All Four Seasons. We've always been Atlanta's best at installing and servicing garage and entry doors, but you would be surprised at how many windows we've installed as well. So we're proud to announce a new division, All Four Seasons Windows. We now have the ability to make sure every opening in your house is safe, energy efficient, and looks darn good. So give us a call today to schedule your free sales consultation. Find out how you can decrease your energy bills and increase the beauty and value of your home with All Four Seasons garage, entry doors, and windows.
Get ready for Real Talk on the Janelle King Show, where we tackle kitchen table topics that are banned from family gatherings, but crucial for a strong republic. Tune in every Saturday at 3 p.m. and every Sunday for an encore episode at 9 a.m. And if you can catch us live, great. But if not, no worries. New podcasts drop every Tuesday on the Podcast Park right here on Extra 106.3 or wherever you get your podcast. Join us for insightful conversations that matter.
2024 Georgia Tech football season ticket memberships are available now. The 2024 season features marquee matchups against Miami and Notre Dame. Get the best seat locations in Bobby Dodd Stadium at Hyundai Field and guarantee your access to the Notre Dame game at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Season ticket memberships come with benefits. Lock in your 2024 Georgia Tech football season ticket memberships by visiting ramblinrec.com/tickets. Sting 'em.
That's right, baby. That's the man. James Brown. Sing it. Sing it.
Papa's got a brand new bag.
There we go. 2003, James Brown pardoned for his past crimes in America and the state of South Carolina. James Brown served 2.5 years in prison after a drug and assault charge bust in 1988. He was granted a pardon by the State Department of Parole and Pardon Services. James Brown appeared before the board and sang "God Bless America" after the decision. Can you imagine James Brown going before the parole board and singing and then Blues Brothers and oh man.
Is this some kind of bust? Yes,
well, it
very
certainly
impressive.
is. Hey, that's nice, Beaver. Anyway, 350 with the camera. Pete and Flounder, 404-741-1230, 1230. Our birthday list includes Trevor Tahim Smith Jr., Chuck D from Public Enemy gave him the name Busta Rhymes, 52 years old today. He gave him that name as a shout-out to the former crazy gun-loving NFL wide receiver George Buster Rhymes. And for the record, George Busta Rhymes, the rapper, once held the Guinness Book of World Records record for the most syllables said in 1 second. I guess that's a thing. I had no idea, but it's true, apparently. And let's see, on this day in history, 1927, they called him the Flying Fool. Charlie Lindbergh took off from New York City in the spirit of St. Louis in his attempt to become the first person to fly nonstop across the Atlantic. He landed safely the next day at Le airfield in Paris. He was awarded a $25,000. I might have mispronounced the airport there. $25,000 prize. He flew at an average of 125 miles an hour. That was 1927. Then the same day, 1932, 5 years later, Amelia Earhart took off from Newfoundland, heading for Ireland. She landed at Londonderry 15 hours later and became the first woman to fly across the Atlantic by herself. And then she went on to be very famous and never had another problem with the airplane for as long as... Oh, sorry. Anyway. Didn't they find her now? They think they actually did find her off some atoll in the Tahiti or something.
Every year or two, they claim they found it. It disappears.
I found the wing or something. I don't know.
The story disappears like she did.
There you go. By the way, we're going to... that naughty little... One of the most beautiful women I've seen her personally, just looking at her, is that naughty little woman, Shannon Bream on Fox News. I mean, she is just stunningly beautiful, and she's smart. She's the Supreme Court girl. Anyway, wow, she turned out to have a mean, nasty streak. A beautiful, hot, sexy, blonde, illegal girl has a vicious, black-hearted, mean, nasty streak. Wow, way to hear about that. But first, 353. And Flounder found this. Lives at TikTok has done it again. This is actually outrageous. There's a guy on a beach. Beautiful day on the beach. People enjoying the side. There's a couple of people in the background have an American flag they put in the sand just to be part of their summer festivities or whatever. Here's what this guy says about seeing American flags on a public beach in America.
I'm here enjoying a nice day at the beach with my kids, and I turn around. I got these flags planted here on the beach by these MAGA
blanks.
Listen, this is all America. We know you didn't storm the beaches to stake out your territory on the beach. This isn't the moon. I get it. This is America. But I'm sick of my flag being represented by white nationalist trash on a goddamn beach. Go yourselves.
All right, first of all, if you watch this video, there's two American flags. There's nothing Trump-related or anyone...
No MAGA hats.
Exactly. He's just a whiny little bitch.
He saw the
self-loather.
Some quick reactions. Every day, the left makes it clear how they feel, how they hate our country. If they're not even good enough to just leave. They try to destroy America, remake it in their own woke way. The greatest threat to America is within America. It's the woke people. Again, imagine living in America, being American, and getting triggered at the sight of American flags. There's the door. On this, I love this one. This cracks me up. Soy boy. Soy boy.
Soy boy. That's what he is.
Yeah. Fronting like he's a big man. Love how he tells them off out of their hearing and to everyone but them. He's not yelling and screaming at them in their ear, going up and kicking sand in their face, you'll notice, with the American flag. And I'll bet there's a pretty good freaking reason why. If you live in America and you don't like the American flag or what represents it, just leave. Why would you not want to leave? What, would you rather see a Palestinian flag? We should fill the beaches with American flags now. His reaction's appalling. Where are we supposed to go? He's consumed with hatred. How does he know whose flags they are? Is that bad? It's just unbelievable. He doesn't deserve to be called an American. And then he's going to get all the accolades and all the responsibilities and all the things you get to be an American, like voting and stuff. He gets to vote. God, I just hate what they're doing.
I'm begging somebody like him to come up and give me grief about the flag. Just come up, please, just once. Let me get it out of my system.
I'm ready every day. I was ready back when the Black Lives Matter was taking over all the outdoor dining places, hoping that I'd be at somewhere at a cafe someplace, and they come up and take over my table.
Well, speaking of which, one of the things Biden said at Morehouse was, what do you think Trump would have done if those were black insurrectionists on January 6th? And I'm thinking, well, he probably would have done what he did when he was president, and all the black insurrectionists were burning down cities across the country. I think we already know what would have happened.
I mean, but again, President Potato Head's entire speech, again, this is college graduates. These are people who are supposed to be the next leaders of our country, particularly minority leaders or black leaders or black entrepreneurship or all those things that could happen to make America a better place for all of us. Okay, great. And instead, he talks about hate and division and danger of white people. He brought up George Floyd. I mean, he couldn't do enough to try to say if Trump comes back into power, he's going to hold you back again to the days of Jim Crow. I mean, it was just more hate and division and trying to turn them against anybody other than somebody who's black. This is supposed to be college, and he's supposed to be the uniter. Unbelievable. And then, oh, God, first of all, what Flounder's Funny's for, Nucky's Hoagies right here. What you got there, Flounder?
A man and his wife and his mother-in-law went on vacation to the Holy Land. While they were there, the mother-in-law passed away. The undertaker told them, you can have her shipped home for $5,000, or you can bury her here in the Holy Land for $150. The man thought about it, told him he'd just have her shipped home. The undertaker asked, why would you spend $5,000 to ship your mother-in-law home when it would be wonderful to have her buried here and spend only $150? The man replied, a man died here 2,000 years ago. He was buried here. 3 days later, he rose from the dead. I just can't take that
chance. Who's that there, Flounder?
I'm not sure. I saw it on Instagram, and it's just some old man doing a funny sermon.
Pretty cool. Elise Stefanik was on Fox News show with Shannon Bream, and Shannon Bream brought up a New York Times article where Elise Stefanik was calling Donald Trump a whack job, and now she's a big supporter, and so Shannon Bream was saying, well, you said you hated him, now you love him, and what did I? And so Elise Stefanik, the congresswoman from New York, we were this girl, said it's a disgrace. She would quote the New York Times with nameless, faceless, false sources. And she fired back at Bream in response to a question when she had changed her mind about saluting Donald Trump. She says, no, Shannon, they're not quoting my friends. Those names are not included because they're false smears. And Shannon said, well, we have people quoted. You can read the article and have people quoted. I mean, holy criminy. Shannon Bream went out of her way to try to humiliate and embarrass Elise Stefanik for what possible reason? Why would she single out the New York Times article saying, you used to hate Donald Trump, called him a whack job several years ago, and now you're on his side? And Elise had to say, well, of course I'm on his side. Look what he's doing. Look what's going on in our country now. How could you not be on his side? But again, Shannon Bream went out of her way to get really nasty about it. And Elise said, my man, it leaked out in that 2016. That was insulting Shannon. And Shannon said, I stood by and supported him. I strongly support him. That's what Elise said. And Shannon just gave a little smile at the end of it. Holy cow. I mean, that's just nasty. I'm very
surprised. Fox News.
Yeah.
You can't trust Fox News anymore. You can trust the rest of them.
Because
television
Elise Stefanik's name popped up on the vice presidential possible list, and now they're going after her? I mean, that's kind of ironic timing, don't you think? A few days ago, her name's on a list, and now since Shannon Bream's going after her? Man, who wants to be a politician? Good Lord. 4 o'clock, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. How's it going? We got stories, we got stuff, and Holy Crap at Sports, and Pete's tweets, and we got so many things here for you. Look at
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. This hour is presented by Atlanta Safe House.
This is a Fox News alert. The prosecution rests on Lisa Brady. This happened within the past hour at former President Trump's hush money trial in New York, where the defense has since called its first 2 witnesses, beginning with paralegal Daniel Sitko, who made a spreadsheet of phone calls between former attorney Michael Cohen and Cohen's former advisor Robert Costello, who has publicly questioned Cohen's credibility and motives. Now Costello has taken the stand. The defense might also call an election law expert, Brad Smith.
And he is really critical to the defense case because he would refute the prosecution's claim that hush money payments made to Stormy Daniels amount to campaign finance violations. But Judge Merchan has already issued, pre-trial decisions that greatly limit what Brad Smith could testify to.
Fox Business's Lydia Hu at the courthouse. The judge has already told both sides to be ready for closing arguments next Tuesday. No change in U.S. policy on Iran after the death of Iran's president in a helicopter crash.
White House National Security Communications Advisor John Kirby says the U.S. government is offering official condolences to Iran following the death of President Ibrahim Raisi.
This was a man who had a lot of blood on his hands.
Kirby says Raisi oversaw an abysmal human rights regime that killed dissidents and was responsible for supporting Iranian assistance to terror networks.
That said, as we in any other case, we certainly regret, in general, the loss of life.
Kirby says the U.S. continues to stand with Iranians fighting for their own civil rights, but adds the Biden administration will continue to hold Iran accountable for destabilizing behavior.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. The U.S. Senate chaplain offering prayers for the Iranian people at the opening of today's Senate session. A retreat for the Dow, down 195 at the bell. America is listening to Fox News.
All right, who's there for heroes or their families left behind when a service member or a first responder dies or is catastrophically injured in the line of duty? Who helps our country's homeless vets? I'll tell you who. It's the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Never forget the sacrifices of our country's greatest heroes. They're hoping all of us will donate $11 a month. Just go to their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org, the letter T, number 2, letter T.org for the Tunnel to Towers Foundation.
Hear that? It's the gentle sound of a waterfall on your hike. And if you were here, you'd take a deep breath of fresh air if you weren't so winded. But you're not here, because your self-care happens out on the road, riding your motorcycle protected by Progressive. And the bugs you wipe from your headlights are all the nature you need. So if you ride, see if you could save with Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Get an online quote in as little as 3 minutes. All from the great indoors. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Hey ho! All right now. How you doing over there?
You make me feel so young.
Old Dead Eyes right here.
You make me feel so spring to sprung. And every time I see you grin, I'm such a happy individual.
Man, the guy could freaking sing. You just... Who's better at doing this kind of jazz singing than Frank Sinatra? Nobody. Tony Bennett or Jack Jones or Mel Torme or name any torch singer. I'm agreeing
all
with you.
Three losers compared to Sinatra.
I'm just trying to give examples of other things. I'm agreeing with you totally.
Sammy Davis comes close,
and he sounded like Frank Sinatra. He had the same kind of style as Frank, and that's true. I did a thing with him and his. With Sammy Davis Jr.'s official personal concert director. I was the host of the MC at the Sammy Davis Jr. concert thing. Sorry.
Anyway, Founder, do we have the Kimmer's Brush with Greatness sounder that we can run?
I don't think that one's on. I'll bet you forgot to put that one on my TikTok toe board.
When I was 17.
Shut up. Anyway, the reason we played that song, I talked over the entire thing here. 1998 was Frank Sinatra's funeral at the Church of the Good Shepherd in Beverly Hills. Mourners in attendance included Tony Bennett, Faye Dunaway, Tony Curtis, Liza Minnelli, Kirk Douglas, Angie Dickinson, Sophia Loren, Bob Newhart, Mia Farrow, and Jack Nicholson. Frank Sinatra's funeral. Okay. And let's see, birthdays include Greg Allman's ex, Cher, is 78. years old today. Her face is, I think, 7. I'm fairly sure. And poor thing, God. Anyway, I get every time I see a picture of her trying to smile. I think, oh, poor thing. What?
Ball Scott brought up a good one. Well, Dean Martin, of course, but Scott said Bing Crosby. Don't forget about Derbinger.
Oh, that's true. Derbinger. Yeah, that's true. Absolutely true. I did forget about Bing Crosby. And let's see, on this day in history, this is pretty cool. I hadn't thought about this. In the year 1310, holy cow, 1310, for the first time ever, somebody decided to make different style shoes for the left foot and the right foot. Until 1310, shoes were all the same. They weren't curved to the left or the right. They were all the same. And someone said, well, gee, they don't work that way. That's not how they go. But can you imagine figuring in 1310.
Oh, so the Romans probably did something. Oh, come on.
Well, no, they had sandals. I mean, sandals are multi. I mean, anybody fit in a sandal, it's just straps. But to actually make a shoe that's covered and curved for the curvature, I don't know. I just thought it was kind of weird. Okay, look out. 406 here with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Your 4 o'clock hour sponsored by our good friends at the home of the Kimmer Safe, Atlanta's Safe House. They have a showroom in Ackworth. If you don't think you need a safe, you do. Social Security card, important stuff, papers, medical records. Learn more at atlantasafehouse.com. 404-741-1230. How's it going? By the way, a couple things in passing. Ivan Boesky died today. I think 87 years old, the former insider trader, and he was the arbitrager guy. In fact, he was the one. Ivan Boesky said that he told a graduating class. No, he didn't say that. What he said was greed is all right. Greed is healthy. Be greedy, and you can still be greedy and still feel good about yourself. He said greed is healthy and greed is all right. Gordon Gekko said greed is good. But he got it from the actual Ivan Boesky quote. And Ivan Boesky died today at 87. He spent 2 years in prison, insider trading stuff, and now he's gone. And also over the weekend, we got news that Ralph from Ben Hill died, our old co-host radio talk show guy from, the early 90s? And, I mean, it was 30 years ago.
Mid-90s, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I guess from 94, 95.
Maybe early.
2, 3, 4, somewhere in that area. And we were all working together over there, and Ralph from Ben Hill, kind of like the story of Neil Bortz. I mean, he was just a guy and a caller and kind of became a thing, and all of a sudden he got invited to do a show, and he did some fill-in stuff, and he had a little weekend thing and a gig and all boom bam pow, and I don't know, I mean, Ralph,
what a personality.
I always thought, I remember thinking, and I've talked to the PD over there about this too. I remember saying and really thinking this, if someone could control him, if there was somebody that he respected enough to take somebody that he would trust enough, he could have gone national. He could have been a major star. I mean, he wasn't a broadcaster, he wasn't a talk show host, but he was a very quick-witted, reactionary, clever, creative, kind of different thinking guy, and black, and lived, and it was, he picked names out of, in fact, I forgot where he got the name. Ben Hill is from where he lived, and Calvin from... Yeah. I forgot where.
And Ralph was Ralph Cramden.
That's what it was. Ralph Cramden because one of his favorite shows. And again, to the moon, Alice. And that was Ralph from Ben Hill. Exactly. And he and I don't know. You have some. We all have stories about him. Some we probably should not tell.
No, let's go ahead and tell him. He would appreciate it.
You go first.
First of all, we had a thing called the Kent card. Remember the Kent card?
Oh my God, that was a credit card you got if you had to go do something with a client or whatever. You could charge it, and you have your lunch or whatever, taking somebody out Yeah.
We all used it for years and years and years.
Yeah.
And then Ralph showed up. Yeah. And within a matter of months, the King cart was no more.
Yeah, we didn't
because somebody had taken it out to party.
It was going on trips. I think it was staying weekends at the Ritz and
eating a Red Lobster every night.
In fact, I think. Oh God. I think I used one to try to fill up my gas tank, and it was rejected once or something. It's ups to daisy. It was an official business, and they said, "No, we're not taking this." And all crap, so I did it myself. Whatever. And I think my funniest memory, and it's going to involve me, so you can rip me if you like. There was, for some reason, my show used to go on. It used to be 4 to 6, and eventually went 3 to 6 in the afternoon. And for some reason, I guess Ralph from Ben Hill had filled in Oh, I know what he had filled in on one of our national feeds or something, and he was doing a show that was on social media, and it wouldn't be social media. He was on some feed somewhere right before I went on at 3:00, and so the people listening to us on the radio station had been listening to Ralph from Ben Hill, but not from our feed. But they thought, and it was 1 hour delayed. So what happened was my first hour of my show, people who were listening to the Ralph from Ben Hill show were listening to him and calling my number to talk to Ralph from Ben Hill. So at 3:00 in the afternoon, people are calling in and they think they're talking to Ralph from Ben Hill, who's still on the air. Okay, so I answered. So I found out I figured out what was going on, and so I answered the phone. And I think Wayne No Offense was producing at the time. I said, "We'll play some, good background black music, some real, some jazz stuff or background stuff." And so I'd answer the phone, and I'd pretend to be a gay producer. I say, "Hello, it's a radio station. You want to talk to Ralph from Ben Hill?" I said, "Yeah, I want to talk to these chicks. Yeah, I want to talk to Ralph from Ben Hill. Get some sugar stuff." And then I'd say, "Well, turn your radio down because we can't have any feedback." The problem is if they turned the radio up, they could hear that they weren't talking to me. Ralph was still broadcasting. It was fake. But I came on and I'd say, "What's happening there, baby? What it is? Keeping a crunk, baby doll," and stuff. And I was flirting with all these black chicks for like an hour, and no one ever caught on. And it was horrible. I mean,
we're trying to talk about Ralph here, and you managed to turn this around to a 3-minute story about you.
But again, it was the funniest thing in the world. Me got a kick out of it.
The poor man's dead.
Pretended to be Ralph from Ben Hill. One day I'll be dead, and now you can do that about me. Thank you.
The next segment, we'll talk about you and your brushes with Ralph. But right now, let's talk about Ralph for just a second.
Exactly.
Okay. As Tom the King Hughes pointed out, wasn't he the guy who flipped the golf cart at the golf tournament that time?
Yeah, he was not totally in control of his faculties. And by the way, golf carts, if you're going down a hill and you're going sideways, they're going to flip. Yeah. Golf carts are they're not safe. I mean, you can't go just rumbling through the woods. I mean, if you go at an angle, you're going over. I mean, we've all been flipped out of golf carts, I guarantee you. In fact, we were damn near flipped out on Friday up at the Freaknik place with the Rustics Manor when Mike took us for a little ride in that golf cart. We almost flipped it a couple of times.
Almost flipped it over there.
Yeah.
But okay, I'll do what you just did. I'll tell the story about me. I got him once. He hated Jack Kennedy. The late great Jack Kennedy, the sports guy, just hated him. Don't know. And he was a chicken in the backseat, eating honky mother blanker, blah, 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 constantly. So one day we're sitting there. Mike Fratello just got hired by the Cleveland Cavaliers, the former Hawks coach.
Yep.
And back then with the computer, we just got the computers, I could rearrange the stories from Associated Press. And the story came down about Fratello being hired. So I typed it up. Fratello had hired Atlanta sports talk host Jack Kennedy as one of his assistant coaches. And I ran it into Ralph on the air. So you ain't gonna believe this plane. And he read it, and his head exploded. And he went on there. Can you believe this? Can you believe this? He's just checking his chicken backseat and eating mother. And he went on for me and Gene Michaels, the late great Gene Michaels.
Oh, Gene Michaels, haven't heard that.
Gino says, "Are you going to tell him?" I said, "I'll let him go for a few more minutes here." And then I went in there and finally said, "Okay, calm down, Ralph. It's not true."
And by the way, no offense, but Ralph was very black. I mean, he talked black inner city lingo, baby. In fact, he got in trouble for playing the record "Burn It Down," calling for riots. Was it the Rodney King verdict or
Disco Inferno?
Disco Inferno, and he was calling to burn it down, burn down the town, and he got in trouble. The FCC came after him. I think he had to suspend him. I don't really remember, but he got in serious. The FCC came after him, and the station said, "Oh, you're going to lose our license here," calling for riots and stuff.
I think that finally, I know we're going long, but the demise of Ralph, I think, came where there was a call. Is there somebody with one of your news trucks out here? I forget, it's Spalding or something like that.
Yeah, that was.
And it turns out someone cut Ralph off in the news truck.
Yeah.
And allegedly, a handgun was pulled and waved around.
It could have been a phone. It looked like a handgun. It could have been a cell phone.
Could have been a phone.
But that was pretty much the ball game. And the late, great Ralph from Ben, was he 74, 73, 74? Something like that. And he had some serious medical problems for the last couple of years. But anyway, rest in peace, Ralph from Ben Hill. You were a story, all right. And you were a force. And rest in peace, good friend. 414, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder right here.
Time for the Bortz Report, brought to you by Southern Exteriors, the Southeast premier home exterior solution. Quality and precision you can rely on for over 20 years. Visit southernexteriors.co.
Shortly after I was sworn in to practice law in Georgia, the Queen and I made a trip to Newcastle upon Tyne in the United Kingdom. There I was introduced to a Crown Court judge. For some reason, he thought I was an experienced attorney, so he invited me down to the Crown Court to take part in his workday, and lo and behold, I ended up in a robe, sitting as one of 3 judges in a Crown Court on a case involving, believe it or not, terrorism. Not only did I get to sit up there in a robe, but I wore one of those powdered white wigs that you see on barristers, English for trial lawyers, and judges in English courts. Quite an experience for a new attorney, and I got to bring the wig back to the United States. I didn't wear it in court here, but Superior Court Judge Clyde Henley in DeKalb County borrowed it from me, and he wore it. But, things have now changed. Wokeism might be hitting the Crown Courts in the United Kingdom. Yep, they're considering whether or not to nix the mandatory wigs for barristers over concerns the wigs may be culturally insensitive. Ooh. But wait, there's more. Several black barristers have now lodged complaints that the traditional wigs discriminate against Afro-American hair. One barrister, Michael Etienne, who wears an Afro hairstyle, that's what they call them over there, said the requirement to wear those wigs was, are you ready for it? Racism. What are the white wigs made of? Horsehair, it seems. And for Michael Etienne and the people that are bothered by this, they should make the wigs from horses' ass hair. Very fitting. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3.
When storms wreak havoc on your home, who do you trust to make things right? Look no further than Southern Exteriors. Hey, it's Tug. With over 25 years experience, they understand the urgency of storm damage. They offer emergency response and free estimates to assess the situation and get your home back on track. Southern Exteriors is committed to your home's long-term well-being. Whether it's roofing, siding, gutters, windows, or doors, they have the expertise to handle it all. Call 877-9-SOUTHERN or visit southernexteriors.co. southernexteriors.co. Southern Exteriors, restoring peace of mind one storm at a time.
When you think of the great outdoors, do you ever think about your own backyard? Hi, this is Candace from Exovations, and have I got a tip for you. We turn backyards into great outdoor living areas. Imagine your home with a new, beautiful, and durable composite deck. Maybe with a relaxing screen porch, or maybe your family would enjoy a stone patio with a pergola to stargaze, or a covered open air porch with a stunning tongue and groove ceiling. Add an outdoor fireplace, kitchen, or bar area for even more function and beauty. We can design and install your greatest outdoor adventure. And with Exovations, you'll get your project delivered on time, on budget, and without all that stress you usually hear about in construction. Let's make your outdoors great again. Schedule your free quote today at exovations.com. That's EXOVATIONS.com.
Millions of guys suffer from erectile dysfunction. That's 1 in 4 men. And I can tell you, I'm one of them.
If you or someone you know suffer from ED, Peyronie's disease, or PE, here's 38-year emergency room doctor and founder of Total Body Therapy of Georgia, Dr. Eric Deal.
Patients who enter my office are often frustrated, hopeless, depressed, and embarrassed. I understand the problem, and I'm going to help you fix it. There are lots of competitors that don't have the credentials that I have. When you go to other clinics, you're not going to see a board-certified physician with the experience that I have. When you come to our clinic, you're going to see me. There's just not one therapy that can solve these complex issues. I'll do a complete history and physical prior to any treatment that we use. Take it from me, Dr. Deal. When it's not hard, it's really hard.
Call Dr. Deal for your free one-on-one evaluation and resolve your ED, Peyronie's, or PE issues. Total Body Therapy of Georgia, 404-777-1911, 404-777-1911, online at stopmyed.com.
All right, here we go now. 420. I call smoke. No, I don't at all. The smoking lamp is lit. Maybe for these guys. You too, action here. Kimmer Pete and Flounder, how you doing? Happy Monday. Here we go. It's kind of a whiny version. I like the real U2 when they're singing about, good news. 1997, U2 caused rather severe traffic chaos in Kansas City, Missouri, after they paid for traffic control to shut down 5 lanes. That's so they could shoot the video for Last Night on Earth. Apart from major traffic jams, a passing Cadillac crashed into a plate glass window trying to avoid a camera crew. Anyway, U2. What's that one? Something to Believe In, or I Still Believe in You. What the hell's that song they have?
I still haven't found what I'm looking for.
But that's one. That's exactly one. I'm so close.
Yeah, it's so far away.
I got it. I got what you just did there.
Thank you. Birthday list includes David Proval. You don't know the name, you know the face if you watch The Sopranos. One of the most despicable, despisable characters in the history of television on The Sopranos. He played Richie Aprile. The guy who hooked up with Janice, and then, David probably is 82 years old. Richie Aprile from The Sopranos. The only other one I hated was the guy with a wig. With the guy turned out he had a wig, kind of red-haired wig. When they finally killed him, really obnoxious. He was totally out of character for The Sopranos. He didn't look like a gangster. Didn't look Italian. I can't remember his name. When they cut his head off, Christopher cut his head off, and he picked up his hair and said, "Oh my God, I didn't know he was wearing a wig." I hate when I do this. During the break, I'm gonna Google characters on The Sopranos, and he'll be like within the first 5. But I can't do it now because I failed and I'm an idiot. Now, by the way, coming up, there's a little article here about a doctor who says, if you're losing your hearing, it might cause dementia.
What?
I can't hear you. And now, this little item. On this day in 2005, remember the name Mary Kay Letourneau. Kind of a hottie, married, kind of a hottie, cute woman. 2005, Mary Kay Letourneau got married. The convicted pedophile and child rapist, Mary Kay, had been in prison for sexual assault and affair with her 12-year-old student who knocked her up before she got arrested. She went to jail. She got out. Mary Kay Letourneau broke parole by going to have another baby with the same guy, went back into jail, came back out, had kids with him, and died years ago from colon cancer. By the way, there was an article I read, I didn't read, I looked it up, in People magazine, where Mary Kay Letourneau says about this kid, Vucheche something or other, unusual, like foreign exotic-looking guy. She said she had him in her class as a teacher in 2nd grade. And she remembered feeling some kind of special feeling about this kid in 2nd grade, that he was different from all the others, and there was something really interesting and unusual about him. 2nd grade! She started having sex with him when he was 12. And they had babies and got married. And she was willing to go to prison twice. She couldn't stop. She couldn't leave him alone. Speaking of weirdos, 423. I think it's only the Sunday paper has the list of bestsellers and hardcover fiction and trade paperback stuff like that. And I always look to see if I can find a new one by Lee Child or some of my favorite artists and so forth. And I'm not making this up. On the list of trade paperbacks, so 2 things strike me. On the list of paperbacks, the top 15 paperbacks. Here are just a few of the names. See if you can find anything common about them. Anna, Emily, Abby, Frida, Jessica, Bryn, and Geneva. It's like they're girls. They're girls all over the place on the top bestseller books, which is interesting. I don't know why, but it seems I don't know why I don't remember all that many female authors who were top 20. But good for them. But secondly, this on the list, top paperbacks. Number 7. Super fantastic Taylor Swift coloring and activity book. Children's activity book is a top bestseller because of Taylor Swift. I mean, holy cow. And every day in the news, there's a story about Travis Kelce picking out his favorite songs on her album. He's biased about her outfit. I mean, holy cow. They can't stop. It's unbelievable.
We used to teach Latin and Greek in high school.
I know. The top 7 is a Taylor Swift coloring activity book. Bestseller, ladies and gentlemen.
You know why it's all women on the paperback bestsellers?
What?
Because the
Romance?
men are busy writing serious novels.
Well, I guess, it's, I suppose. I don't know. What's that, Flounder? Would you, something happened. You all right over there?
All is well.
Oh, okay. I heard a bump and I thought something bad.
Nope, we're good.
Okay, 425, Kimber, Pete, and Flounder. I keep giving the time now that I keep thinking about Doug making fun of me.
Doug.
I'm sorry, I can't stop it. Of course, he can't hear me because he's one who's off for the next couple of days. I mean, they decide which one, gets a couple of days off.
He's fishing in Florida.
Let's not, it's just part of that thing. Nathan Wade's estranged wife says the man is not paying his bills. And here's what he's doing. Boy, this sound familiar. Nathan Wade, the prosecutor who was hired by Fannie, the uppity schmuppity DA, the disgrace of Fulton County, hired this guy. They were having an affair, he made $700,000. And now, because he got taken off the case by the judge, he claims that he no longer is able to pay his alimony and the money that he owes his wife because of their divorce agreement. And she says... he says constituting a substantial change in circumstances rendering him unable to meet his financial obligation in their divorce proceedings. Jocelyn Wade of the soon-to-be ex-wife said that his failure to provide accurate, timely discovery, sought updated financial documentation, 2 checks. He got 2 checks dated 3 days before he filed his motion to change what he owes her. He got 2 checks for $53,000. And then 3 days later, he said, I can't pay this alimony I owe you because I lost my job. Give me a break. He hasn't paid her court-ordered expenses, said he should be held in contempt of court. And what happens is, now because he lost his job, he made a divorce agreement while he was working. And then he lost his job, but his divorce lawyer apparently didn't cover him for that. Now Wade has gone to court to try to change the document. But if there's, believe me, I know something about this because my lawyer did not protect me when I was under contract. My contract was going to be up in a year and a half, and she did not put in my contract, if you lose your job, if you're not renewed, that we need to renegotiate, because I was paying her a freaking fortune, which I wouldn't have been able to afford. Sure enough, I lost my job. They sold the radio station. Everything went nutso, and I just retired, and I still had to pay his 6-figure alimony with no income. So because my lawyer didn't protect me. Well, his lawyer apparently didn't protect me. Now he's gone to a court. I never did anything. I just kept paying and took it out of my nest egg. So, I mean, I didn't complain. No, nobody knew anything. But again, he's now going to court saying, I want to get out of this deal because now I'm not making any money. So, I mean, that's your lawyer's problem. Anyway, again, this is the guy, Nathan Wade, who said, cheating on your husband or your wife at the office is just as American as apple pie. Everybody does it. It happens. If you're cheating on your husband with your new career stuff or your wife and you got a new side piece, I mean, it's just, it's everywhere. It's just everywhere. Oh, God. I know Pete and I were thinking about having an affair. Remember, we almost did. We were looking at each other's, it was so close. We almost had an affair, just like Nathan says, everybody does. Golly.
I don't seem to remember that.
I know it's kind of foggy. The memory I don't have. Could have been a drug. I don't know what. I can't possibly imagine for it.
By the way, I'm going to do the rest of the shows from up here. I'm not coming down anymore.
No, I'm sorry. That's not. No.
Yeah, we can't have possible affairs or anything like that.
Got to go the other way. Please, the Kimber, Pete, and Flounder. By the way, I'm glad to see this happen. This was in Oregon, a girls' 6A 200-meter state championship race. A boy pretending to be a girl won, and the crowd booed him. Thank goodness. He ran the fastest 400-meter prelim, lost in the finals by 0.1 of a 15th of a second or something, and they booed him. When he ran across the finish line, the boy won the girls' race, and they booed him. He also won some qualifying events, and this is in Oregon. Well, who didn't know Oregon would be like that? They have a policy, asserted gender identity. If you provide a fair and safe environment for all, if you believe consistently with your gender identity, then you can play by that rule.
If you're mentally ill, we'll play along with your mental illness instead of helping you out as a child. Right. And by the way, he's much bigger than the rest of them.
Oh, it's unbelievable. And he still didn't even beat all of them, but still, that's not the point. Where are the women? Where are the freaking women? Why do you keep voting for liberals? It's only liberals who allow this to happen. They're offending your daughters. your wives, your sisters, your mothers, the women who have babies.
They're sacrificing an entire generation of young women on the altar of wokeness.
Yeah. It's wrong, and it's got to be stopped. And ladies, you have to do it. We can't do it. You got to do it. We're just bullies if we do it because we're guys. We have penises. You got to do it. Come on, step forward. I'm with you. I'll even show you right here. Oh, sorry. What?
The latest breaking news to the conservative voices you know and trust. Your best new follow on social media is Extra 1063. We're at XTRA 1063 on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, and LinkedIn, and pretty much any social media you scroll through every day. And we drop exclusive giveaways, new daily content, and the latest breaking news from Georgia and across this great nation. Interact with your favorite Extra personalities. Get the latest on our live events and so much more. Follow at Extra 1063 across all your social media and keep up with Atlanta's only conservative voice.
Hey Atlanta, it's Mark from the Safe House. And now, the security riddle of the day. What's less secure than a fake safe from a furniture big box store? Joe Biden's fake border policy, of course. But hey, there is good news. This time next year, Joe Biden will not be president. So drop by Atlanta Safe House and check out the largest selection of safes in the Southeast. Build a wall around your valuables with a safe from the Safe House. We have certified delivery crews to install your safe. With over 30 years in the safe business, the Safe House is the place to buy safe in Georgia. So go to AtlantaSafeHouse.com.
Neil Borch here. Maybe you've already taken the steps to improve your health, maybe save your life. You're using a CPAP for your sleep apnea. I've been using one for well over 20 years. So right now, I'm here to tell you about a source for CPAPs and CPAP supplies here in the Atlanta area. CPAPs, etc. They're in Alpharetta. They have whatever you need. Roddy and Sharon are your CPAP experts, and they'll ship nationwide. More information, CPAPs.com.
When storms wreak havoc on your home, who do you trust to make things right? Look no further than Southern Exteriors. Hey, it's Tug. With over 25 years experience, they understand the urgency of storm damage. They offer emergency response and free estimates to assess the situation and get your home back on track. Southern Exteriors is committed to your home's long-term well-being. Whether it's roofing, siding, gutters, windows, or doors, they have the expertise to handle it all. Call 877-9-SOUTHERN or visit southernexteriors.co. southernexteriors.co. Southern Exteriors, restoring peace of mind one storm at a time.
Tax season can be stressful, but it's also a wake-up call. It's time to think beyond April and plan for your future. At Master Plan Retirement Consultants, we're not just advisors, we're your partners in building a secure retirement. At Master Plan Retirement Consultants, we understand the challenges Georgians face. That's why we offer personalized strategies to maximize your retirement income, minimize taxes, and ensure you never outlive your assets. Join the Master Plan family and let us guide you through every financial milestone. Visit masterplanretire.com to schedule your appointment today. Master Plan Retirement Consultants, where your journey and destination are both important. Visit masterplanretire.com to schedule your complimentary consultation today.
Advisory services offered through Master Plan Retirement Consultants, Inc., a registered investment advisory in the state of Georgia. Insurance, tax, and commodity services offered through Fricks & Associates, Inc., DBA Master Plan Retirement Consultants. The aforementioned are affiliated companies.
No one plans on going to jail, but at A Second Chance Bail Bonds, we believe everyone deserves a second chance. That's the driving force behind everything we do. If you or a loved one has been arrested across town or across the country, you need help now. A Second Chance Bail Bonds works fast with bondsmen throughout Atlanta to help expedite release within hours. A Second Chance. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call A Second Chance 24/7 at 404-BAIL-OUT. That's 404-BAIL-OUT or online at atlbail.com.
Hey there, I'm Tara, owner and publisher of Our Town Monthly Magazine, where you'll find familiar faces, local voices, and community businesses like Celebration Village of Ackworth.
Hi, I'm Jocelyn Cochran, Executive Director for Celebration Village Ackworth, the area's premier senior living community right here in Cobb County. We are located in Ackworth, Georgia, conveniently right off Cobb Parkway, Highway 41, within a mile of prime retailers, but still providing the privacy and peace of nature. We're offering true continuum of care with independent living, concierge living, assisted living, and memory care apartments. We currently offer the largest independent living apartments in our market. Our residents enjoy restaurant-style dining with seasonal menus featuring fresh ingredients and home-style meals. We offer resort-style amenities, transportation services, and a true maintenance-free lifestyle. We have had a long-running relationship with Our Town Monthly because we share the motto, family and community first.
Thanks, guys. We adore your amazing community. Friends, check out Celebration Village of Ackworth. It's a true senior living retreat. Tell them Our Town said hello.
Here we go. Sounds like somebody recognizable. Led Zeppelin. 1969, Led Zeppelin started recording their studios in New York, including a recording of Heartbreaker and other parts for the new tracks for the group's forthcoming second album. Yeah, Led Zeppelin under pressure to finish the sessions for their second album so they could release it in time for the autumn market on this day in 1969. Wow, that goes way back. Birthday list includes David Patterson, 70 years old, the legally blind former governor of New York. He was lieutenant governor under Eliot Spitzer. And then Eliot Spitzer got outed as a giant connoisseur of prostitutes and expensive call girls and had to resign. So David Patterson, the blind guy, became governor of New York. I've forgotten, didn't they even mention Spitzer's, even the kind of girls he liked or whether he was a leg man or a butt man? Or I think they even, because when you call up to these expensive places, you tell them what you like. You know, I mean, sizes and, I mean, you can specifically.
Really? Is that what you do?
Well, no,
I've never done that.
I was reading.
What you did.
I was reading here. The article said that when they actually, yeah, like I got his kind of money.
Do you get the number off?
These broads were $5,000. These were $5,000 chicks. I mean, this was not, hey honey, can I buy you dinner and maybe get a kiss later? That's the Kimmer style. And maybe give you a hug and a kiss after you pay $800 dinner for, and then she never calls you again. Something like that, Anyway, so but these were expensive call girls, and
you dated hookers.
Well,
is that what you're admitting now?
Well, I have. Well, actually, no, I never dated the hooker who took my virginity. That was not a date. I wanted to kiss her. Note to kiss, Montreal hooker. Okay. But the truth, I will tell you a story. I think I may have said this years and years and years ago. But again, this isn't on the bingo list because I'll bet you haven't. I'll bet Flounder doesn't even know this. When I was in Chicago, single, the doorman fixed me up, or wanted to fix me up with a girl in the building. And so he did, and she was gorgeous. She was a podiatrist, a girl podiatrist. And she was a knockout Greek, not black eyes, black hair. I mean, just, that look, I know what you're thinking right now. That's exactly the look I'm talking about. She was gorgeous. And a doctor and like 26 years old. I think I was 40. And she kind of asked me out. And so we went to dinner, came back to our building, and she was on a different floor, and went back to her house. It was a condo, her high-rise condo. Went back to her condo, and we're in the living room. And then for somehow, I don't know why my memory is so vague, for somehow we ended up in her bedroom, and she laid down on her bed, and then she told me, she said, you should know this, that one of the ways I put myself through medical school was that I was sort of a call girl. And she would advertise her services, and she described that she had like 2 or 3 guys who frequently were overseas. They were international travelers. They were all multimillionaire businessmen. And whenever they would come into town for 3 or 4 days, she would spend her time with them. And in return, they would give her lots of money. Okay, so she said that, and she was very straightforward about it. And the first thing I thought to myself was, my God, I could have fallen in love with this girl. I mean, smart, witty, charming, great personality, a doctor, and knockout gorgeous. And she wanted me. I mean, I was an anchorman at the time, so I wasn't hideous like I am now. But, you didn't throw up looking at me back then. Okay, thank you very much. Anyways, I thought, oh my God. And then she said that, and honestly, I talked to her for a while, and I kneeled down on the floor. She was in bed. She was lying on the bed. And I kneeled down on the floor and kind of like held her hand as I was talking to her. And we talked for a while, and I got up, and that was the end of the date, and I left. And I never went back to, I never...
Hand it over.
I know. Man card, I know.
Hand it over.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it.
Why? Because you thought you were going to marry her?
No, I just, it wasn't right. I mean, I didn't, and it wasn't that, I mean, well, I don't know what it was. I guess it was because I don't know.
Sex.
I don't know. Well, I can't, I'm not that kind of guy.
Well, she had to be a virgin?
No, yes, she did. Like all my other women that have been, all 4 women I've had sex with.
Oh, my God.
No, if I remember, 3 or 4.
You've had sex with another man before me, even though you just met me tonight? How dare thee?
Oh, my God. See, I'm not even going to tell any more of my stories. I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it.
I don't understand why you couldn't do it.
Well, I felt bad. I felt bad. It was like, she was like inviting me, and I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
To have sex with her.
Well, no, she never, she didn't start grabbing for me or anything. She wasn't, forward about anything, but she's laying in bed on her side, and I'm kneeling next to her.
She's laying on her bed.
Yeah.
You're in her bedroom. It's not in the hallway.
No, it's in the
bedroom.
Yeah, so it's a pretty good indication that if I'd wanted...
People are edging by you to get to the elevators.
Even I.
Even you.
Even I.
Could have said, that's what we call a clue.
Martin's on the line. I think he's got an answer for you.
Hey, Martin, you're on the radio. What's going on, Martin?
Cameron, this is really sad to hear. So tell me, you said you couldn't do it?
No, I didn't do anything. I left.
You couldn't do it?
No, I think I could. I guarantee you. I remember very specifically. I definitely could have. She was a knockout. She had never mind. She was there. She had everything I didn't.
But they have pills for this stuff.
No, it wasn't that. I was a younger man back then, Martin. Thank you very much. I gotta go. You're killing me. Seriously, I felt bad for her. I really did feel bad because I thought, well, okay, now you're a doctor. So what are you doing it now for? And I remember thinking to myself, I said, I would have had to tell her. If I had gone out with her, I would have gone out with her another day. We probably would have had sex in the next 2 or 3 days or something. And at some point, I would have said, I know that you're going to get a phone call one of these days from one of your guys. I think there were 2 or 3 guys who every few months or something. And I said, I know you're going to get a call from one of these guys. They're going to say, I can't see you this weekend. And I'm going to say, I can't do it. I can't take that. She was going to break my heart. I mean, if I dated a girl, if I ever dated a girl, I only dated one girl. I never went out with more than one girl until it was over.
She probably fell in love with a guy after you and decided to
give it
leave
up.
that life behind,
but
stay a doctor. And she kept him into a style to which he wanted to become accustomed to for the rest of his life.
Could have been me. Could have been me. Could have been me. But again, I've told her I can't share. There's no way I could do this. If you're dating someone else, let alone dating, but if you're having sex with somebody else for money, bad enough.
Well, you're not sharing for that evening.
I don't share.
You're not.
I do not share. That's wrong. I do not share. And she was going to break my heart. How would you feel if you really have feelings for this girl, and all of a sudden she says, "Oh, by the way, I got to have sex with my lover for a week."
Here's what you do. You don't start having feelings for her. You just keep it casual and sexual.
I'm a feelings guy. I'm an idiot.
You're not a Pisces.
It cost me 30 years because I forgot that the word fantasy means not real. Thank you very much. That's where I'm coming from. I'm a freaking disaster. I'm a head case. I can't trust anything.
Okay. Yeah. Let me get this straight.
It cost me 30 years of my life.
Okay. The one who's naked, prone on her bed.
Well, no, she wasn't naked.
Is saying yes. You said no to.
She was not naked.
The one who told you no twice.
Yeah.
You kept pursuing.
I gave her. Yeah.
That's called masochism.
Well, that's what I'm called. The masochismer. They call it the masochismer.
Masochismer.
I swear it. Honest to God, honest to Pete. There you are.
What?
I don't know if that's what you're saying, Pete. Anyway, really, I couldn't do it. She was going to break my heart. I definitely could have fallen for that girl.
Well, I think we all feel closer to you now that you've shared that with us. We all feel a little less respect, but we feel closer.
I'm not a man. Hell, I spent her weekend kissing horses on the mouth. I'm just disgusting. I mean, look at my face. Of course, I don't send them to you because you don't open them. But every weekend I'm kissing horses. Saturday and Sunday I'm kissing horses on the mouth, and frankly, I feel great about it. Because
444
kind of reminds me of a war.
We have a bestiality conversation.
That's a keeper. Are they male or female horses? The doctor asked.
Pucker up, honey.
Wilbur.
Yeah. Oh, mercy. It's 4:45 already. Holy
Off
crap,
the
it's
rails.
sports in the next half hour and actual stuff. In fact, we'll find out what the Braves are doing. It's a double. Now, it's the second game, a night game, so they're off until 7, or it didn't go right after the first one, did it?
No, because the Padres got to get out of here. It's Monday. Come on. They've been here.
Aren't they
for 4
doing
days.
another? And who's in now? Aren't they doing a night game?
Yeah, because hopefully that Mr. Chris Sale will come through for us. The pitching was fine in the first game until Jimenez came in, but they blew a 5-0 lead.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's not. Anyway, we'll get update. 4:45.
6:20.
6:20. Okie doke. There you go. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, and 404-741-1230 if you want to join us, which we encourage. Right, look out.
Hey, it's Rhino from The Morning Extra, getting your weekday morning started from 6 to 10 a.m.
Y'all, we're in the midst of a revolution.
I saw it yesterday at USC with the paraphernalia that they did leave behind. They had 3 symbols. The middle symbol, Palestinian red hand symbol. The other was a swastika, and the other was a hammer and sickle, reminiscent of
Old
Soviet Union. This isn't about peace in the region anymore.
No,
this is about violence towards one group.
That's exactly right. And it's disturbing and it's alarming.
Well, again, I talk about 2020 and the energy that people had from the George Floyd incident. Suddenly people were looking at it like, how can I make friends with these people? You didn't realize they were Marxists and they didn't believe in Israel's right to exist either. But you were so busy, caught up in that fervor of trying to tell people, no, I'm a friend, I'm an ally, that you didn't realize what these people were doing. Hopefully this time around, you clearly see what these people are doing. It's the same playbook, it's the same fervor, but I don't think it's going to resonate the same way.
I certainly hope you're right.
The Morning Extra, 6 to 10 a.m. on Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
The warm air, the beautiful weather, and the sounds of baseball. It's got you thinking about hitting the road. And no matter where your adventures take you, Subaru of Gwinnett has a vehicle to get you there safely and in style. Like the 2024 Subaru Outback, which will take you as far as you want to explore. With standard symmetrical all-wheel drive, plus up to 32 miles per gallon. And if you're up for adventure, it'll get you off the beaten path with up to 9.5 inches of ground clearance, more than the Honda CR-V or Toyota RAV4. Or the 2024 Subaru Forester, the SUV for all you love. It's the right size SUV for all the adventures ahead, with a spacious and comfortable interior for everyone you want to bring along. No matter where adventure takes you, it starts on Satellite Boulevard in Duluth with the amazing staff at Subaru of Gwinnett. They'll help you find the Subaru that you'll love and be there every step of the way for everything you need. Start your shopping online at SubaruofGwinnett.com.
Extra 106.3 listeners are falling in love with Nucky's Hoagies in Roswell.
Me and my wife now find our favorite sandwich place. That food over there was great.
Yeah, those rolls are so soft and sweet. I mean, it was just melt in your mouth. It was, and the steak was tender and juicy and flavorful. I can't say enough about it. It was very, very impressive.
It was so good.
Make Nucky's Hoagies in Roswell on Woodstock Road your new favorite spot for lunch or dinner. Nucky'sHoagies.com.
You have enough to deal with after an accident. You don't want to spend a lot of that time messing around with insurance companies. Besides, what are you going to say to them? You really know the ins and outs? David Van Sant at Van Sant Law does. He used to work for the insurance companies. Their worst nightmare. He knows who to call, what to say, how to listen to them, and he has your best interest at heart. Van Sant Law, 855-GA-INJURY. VanSantLaw.com, 855-GA-INJURY.
You shouldn't need a degree in finance to choose a checking account. That's why we made Truist One Checking. No trade-offs, no compromise, no hassle. Just the stuff you want from a bank that cares. And that means no overdraft fees, lots of practical perks, and automatic upgrades. Truist One Checking. One simple choice. Visit Truist.com/one. Truist.com/ONE. Truist Bank, member FDIC.
It's the time of year where the owner of Central Heating and Air, Sanichuck, is bringing back the 4th annual Christmas in July, benefiting Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. Now through July, $10 from every new maintenance agreement will go directly to the Christmas in July program. The more maintenance agreements you sign up for, the bigger and better we can make Christmas in July. And remember that Central Services all makes and models. So call 770-GET-HEAT, go to centralheat.com. Carrier products, carrier peace of mind. Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier expert.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
It's time to slide into summer at Truist Park as your Braves take on the Washington Nationals and Oakland A's May 27th through June 2nd. And don't miss 2 exciting giveaways like the Ronald Acuna Jr. NL MVP bobblehead presented by Delta on May 28th, followed by the Matt Olson bobblehead presented by Northside Hospital on May 30th. There's no better place to spend your Memorial Day and the first week of summer than Truist Park. Head to Braves.com/promos to get your tickets. Atlanta Braves Baseball. We are Braves country.
Hey there, Atlanta sports fans. Home team Brandon Leak here with Sonder Health Plans. You know, I've been singing praises about their Georgia-based Medicare Advantage health plans, and now they're stepping up their game with new health plans that include home safety and accessibility modifications. Call them up right now and ask if you qualify for their fantastic $400 grocery card offer and $0 premiums. Call 800-331-2928 or visit SonderHealthPlans.com. Sonder Health Plans is an HMO with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Sonder Health Plans depends on contract renewal.
I take 2.
I take 2. Jam session, baby. Here we go now. It's a big old... A revolution. There's something going on there. 1968, the Beatles, armed with a bunch of new songs after their visit to India, met on this day in 68 at George Harrison's home in Esher, Surrey. They taped 23 new songs on George's 4-track recorder, many of which would end up on the Beatles' next 2 albums, The White Album and Abbey Road. The demos included Cry Baby Cry, Revolution, here, While My Guitar Gently Weeps, Blackbird, and Child of Nature, a Lennon song that became Jealous Guy. Beatles, 1968. Wow. There you go. Our birthday list today includes Bronson Pinchot is 65. Much like the guys it says here who played Screech, Urkel, and Horseshack, he'll be eternally known as Balky. But I remember him from one of the funniest 5 or 6 minutes in movie history is Bronson Pinchot playing the gay art dealer salesman when Eddie Murphy goes into the store in Los Angeles looking for his old friend about a murder that happened at Beverly Hills Cop. The first
So what
Beverly...
does it put?
The name is Serge.
What is it pertaining to?
Yeah, so what is it pertaining to? And it's
What's it pertaining to?
And this is Hakmel. No, it's Axel Foley. Hakmel Foley. One of the, I mean, I was like one of the funny. And a guy comes with his shirt up and he said, "This is not."
Yeah, don't say Serge. You say like a detergent.
I can make it there. Take a minute. I can just a little cocktail. I can make it for you. Get the
hell out of here.
How much is that? $700,000. Get on that. Again, Beverly Hills Cop. Got that 5-minute section or whatever it is on my DVR from just that one thing. Anyway, Bronson is 65 years old today, and I got to get a little history thing here. Hold on, I got on my phone. I have my iPad. Just got the Trump update here, and we're going to hear a soundbite. Flounder just found a CNN guy too. But quickly on this day in history, it was a couple of things. Now here we go. 1920, a radio station in Montreal called XWA began broadcasting the first regularly scheduled radio programming in all of North America. The first radio broadcast in North America over America was done by Canadians from Montreal, and the first song they played was called No to Kiss, No to Kiss. No, that's not true. On this day, in 1506, Christopher Columbus died in Spain, still convinced that his journeys were along the east coast of Asia. And I know we've said many times the myth is that Christopher Columbus died broke and in jail. Well, here's the truth. I actually looked this up. When Columbus returned to Spain after his third voyage, he was imprisoned for the barbaric acts of torture he had used to govern Hispaniola. He and his men were jailed for 6 weeks. King Ferdinand ordered their release. His freedom and wealth were restored, and the crown agreed to fund his next voyage. Columbus did demand that the Spanish crown give him 10% of all the profits from the new lands. They did not do that, but he still was hardly poor. He died at 54. Columbus died in Spain. His whereabouts are a little murky. His burial place, mostly Spain. His bones or ashes were transferred to the Dominican Republic, Italy, and Cuba. And for the record, Christopher Columbus died on this day in 1506 at age 55 from heart failure. They called it gout. At the time, modern doctors say it was probably Reiter's syndrome, a reactive arthritis caused by bacterial intestinal infections or sexually transmitted diseases. Christopher Columbus, age 55. Adios and goodbye. Donald Trump is on the case now. I think he's probably gone for the day, but the prosecution rested. Donald Trump's lawyers are not calling people. And here, now, Flounder, this is breaking news here today. A CNN legal expert, Ellie Honig, I think it's describing Michael Cohen's admission that he's a stinking thief and stole from the Trump people.
I think the revelation, though, this morning about the theft of $30,000, which was doubled because they covered his taxes, so $60,000, it came out in a glancing, unclear way on direct. It came out like a bomb earlier today. I don't know how much they can do to fix that. It just, at a certain point, it is the fact Michael Cohen did steal this money. And what makes that really so important, Wolf, is it's not as if Michael Cohen was just stealing on the side. That'd be bad enough. The problem is he was stealing from the exact reimbursement at issue in this case. So the prosecution's core argument is Donald Trump knew what that $420,000 was all about. He was totally read in on it. Turns out Michael Cohen was stealing from him within that $420,000.
Does Michael Cohen's admission that he stole tens of thousands of dollars from the Trump organization potentially opened him up to further criminal prosecution?
It's a great question. The answer is not anymore because the statute of limitations has run out. But it's a very fair question to ask. Gee, folks, of the jury, they gave him a free pass. He committed larceny. It's a higher degree of a felony than what Donald Trump is charged with, yet they gave Michael Cohen a free pass, even though he's now admitted that he stole what amounts to $60,000. It goes to his credibility. It goes to his relationship with the DA.
Boy, is that a great point. Michael Cohen got away with more than they're charging Donald Trump with in the first place. Holy smokes. Give her Pete and Flounder a golden nugget from CNN for crying out. Oh, Flounder's funny, sir, for Nucky's Hoagies. What do you got there, sir?
So she says, what do you need, sir? And I said, well, I don't have my laundry. And I gave it to you. She said, you didn't give it to me. I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. Because I get to be really mad. I said, I gave it to your department and I was promised, like it's in the Constitution that you get your laundry. I was promised I'd have it in 24 hours and it's been longer. She said, what do you want me to do about it? So I got really mad. I said, listen, ma'am, first of all, you can hear in my voice that I'm white. I'll defend that right now. I will defend that. Because look, it's wrong that white people get preferential treatment. It's wrong. But as long as they do, what's going on with this whole I'm supposed to get the best because I'm white, which is awful and wrong. But where is it right
now? little Louis C.K. Has he made a comeback? I mean, even Bill Maher said you leave the guy.
He was canceled for a bit, but he's back doing comedy and stand-up. He actually has a joke about what he did.
He was just gross. I mean, it wasn't like he was racist. He was just dirty.
The other thing was he wasn't forcing it upon anybody.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But still.
Yeah, I'm not justifying what he did.
Yeah. I mean, but he's a pig. That doesn't mean,
He's not like a P. Diddy.
Yeah. And by the way, coming up, you're going to hear from the lawyers, and you're going to hear P. Diddy's excuse here in a few minutes after the 5 o'clock news update. And also how the girlfriend Cassie's lawyers are saying, please, this was another non-apology apology, which people are pretty good at. And by the way, also, you're going to hear this apology from P. Diddy, or it wasn't really it was an acknowledgement. But the thing is, he until that videotape was released, he kept on denying he did it. He kept on saying it wasn't true. He kept on lying about it. And then they outed him, so he had to come. He said, well, yeah, I was in a bad time of my life. But so then he just made an excuse for it. I mean, he still hasn't owned up to it. As far now, whether he can be charged, I don't think he probably can. I assume statute of limitations. It was a long time ago. But anyway, we'll have Felice on that for you here too. Also, Holy Crap at Sports, Ashley Madison has its list of Life is Short, Have an Affair, most famous cities for people fooling around. And guess what state has most cities linked to it? It's in the Midwest. Those husky farm girls.
Long and cold winters.
That's right, baby. Go hug on a little something. Almost 5 o'clock. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder at 106.3. Go Braves. Game 2 at least. What do you think?
And W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. This hour is presented by Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watches.
The defense wants the case dismissed. Lisa Brady, Fox News, as day 19 wraps up at former President Trump's hush money trial in New York.
Trump attorney Todd Blanche is asking the judge to dismiss the case after the jury had been dismissed from the courtroom. He says that there's no evidence, he being Blanche, that any business records were falsified, and there's no evidence of intent, no evidence that former President Donald Trump did anything to influence the 2016 presidential election, anything that was unlawful. He says that the prosecution simply hasn't proven that.
Fox's Nate Foy at the courthouse. Earlier, former attorney Michael Cohen wrapping up his testimony, and the defense called its first 2 witnesses, including former Cohen advisor Robert Costello, who has publicly accused Cohen of perjury. President Biden defending Israel and blasting a prosecutor.
An application by the chief prosecutor at the International Criminal Court for arrest warrants of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Israel's defense minister is outrageous, President Biden says. In a statement released by the White House, the president adds, whatever this prosecutor might imply, there is no equivalence between Israel and Hamas, reiterating U.S. support for Israel's security.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. The ICC prosecutor also seeking warrants for 3 Hamas leaders accused of war crimes and crimes against humanity. Hamas also criticizing the announcement. The State Department defending U.S. participation in a moment of silence at the UN after the death of Iran's president in a helicopter crash. The U.S. also offering a statement of condolences.
There were people on board that aircraft who have families. We thought that's an appropriate step to take. It's the step that the United States government has taken when any number of foreign leaders with whom we had vehement disagreements.
But State Department spokesman Matthew Miller also says President Raisi had blood on his hands, involved, he says, in numerous horrific human rights abuses. America is listening to Fox News.
You know, since 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation has been committed to supporting our nation's first responders and veterans. They support America's heroes like U.S. Army Major Jonathan Turnbull. Now, Major Turnbull sustained devastating injuries at the hands of an ISIS suicide bomber. Tunnel to Towers gave him a specially adapted smart home designed for his needs. Join Tunnel to Towers. They're hoping all of us will donate $11 a month so this great work continues. Their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org.
Hear that? The soothing sounds of a bubble bath. And if you were here, you'd smell a single cedar leaf candle. But you're not here. Because your self-care happens out on the road, riding your motorcycle protected by Progressive. So if you ride, get back on the road and enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance from Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer. And then take a shower, because it's fast, like your motorcycle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Roadside assistance may require comprehensive coverage. Not available in all states.
Together, ladies. Left shoulder, right of flank. Ready on your dog, target. Hair, help, hair, pop, there, Leo. Right, right, shoulder. Road guards out. Hair, help, hair, pop, Leo. Hair, Leo. Hamburger Hill. Coming up. Hair, help, hair. Stand by. It's only me. It's only the Kipper with Pete Davis and Flounder on 106.3. Great to have you aboard. Here's the phone number, 404-741-1230. 741-1230. Well, it's a beautiful Monday afternoon, as it turns out. Braves doubleheader. Next one gets going a little after 6. Pete Davis, Solar Crab Sports coming up. More Flounder's funnies, perhaps some Pete's tweets. You'll hear the P. Diddy so-called apology, or the acknowledgement of guilt for whatever he did with him. We beat the crap out of that woman, kicked her in the head and all kind of stuff. So we got that for you. And the latest on the Trump trial. This judge is really something. Apparently, the latest is that Donald Trump is, in fact, he's going to be coming out here in a minute. The trial is done for the day. And the last thing I knew, I think happened just a few minutes ago, is that the Trump attorneys asked for the judge to dismiss the case, to make I forgot what they call it now, a summary judgment, and say they didn't prove their case, a prima facie case. And the judge, theoretically, if he were honestly, everybody, even the CNN guy is saying that you can't do it. Everybody agrees. Any legitimate judge would never have let this continue and would definitely say, yeah, I agree with the defense case dismissed. This is just ridiculous. I'm hoping that if that doesn't happen, that they'll at least have an opportunity for the judge instructions to say you can also allow a secondary possible charge of a misdemeanor, which would mean that the case would be thrown out because the misdemeanor statute of limitations is long gone. So anyway, those are the things. Now, about this judge today, Juan Merchan cleared the court after he had kind of a stare down with the witness Robert Costello. Now, remember, Robert Costello is the guy who popped up last week all over the media. Also, was you testified before Congress saying that Michael Cohen's a liar. He testified last week that when Michael Cohen was on the stand last week, he was lying. And he can prove it. He was there. He did the thing. Boom, ba-da-bum. So now Trump's people put this guy, his name is Costello, on the stand today. And the back and forth began with the witness Costello audibly and visibly responding with disapproval to the judge sustaining multiple objections from the prosecution about Michael Cohen. And the judge said, "I'm sorry," to Costello after one reaction before clearing the court. He sent everybody out. And then the judge said, I want to discuss proper decorum in my courtroom. You don't say strike it because I'm the only one who can strike it. And he said, don't respond to me. Don't roll your eyes or react in any way to my rulings. Before the jury came back, Costello looked at Merchan, prompting the judge to ask, are you staring me down? Merchan then demanded members of the press be cleared from the court. Trump delegates were allowed to remain. The jury and the press were later allowed to return before the testimony of Costello continued. Good grief. Well, I mean, the whole thing is just a laughable, and it's not funny in any way. It's a disgrace. This isn't America. Good. Anyway, well, here we go. Let's see. You know what? Just for kicks, 507. Let's do it. Donald Trump was having some fun over the weekend, and he went off script for a while. The Morning Boy said this is pretty funny. Donald Trump, and I think he made a mistake when he starts attacking people, workmanship and stuff like he'd done 4 years ago. But he goes off script for a while. Flounder, if you will. Donald Trump having a little fun with the audience, talking about what happened to him at the podium, and also Joe Biden.
But Americans are not struggling. You know, this is the worst platform.
See, why did he?
Who put this stage up here? This is the worst. The frickin' place is falling down. It keeps tilting further left. Like too many other things. What a crappy contractor this was. He's all about disinformation. Pilots come in, he said, I used to fly a plane. Truckers come in, I used to drive a truck. People come in from Minnesota. I used to live in Minnesota. Right? He is so full of shit, this guy. Oh. Terrible. No, I have fake Tapper as they said, I just want to debate this guy, but, you know... And I'm going to demand a drug test too, by the way. I am. No, I really am. I don't want him coming in like the State of the Union. He was high as a kite. Is that Joe up there? A beautiful row? And by the end of the evening, he's like, well, he was exhausted, right? You know, it's a funny thing. I don't know if you can see it out there. Does anybody have good eyes out there? Because this is... Okay, so I just got this today. Somebody handed it to me. So weird, and not as a joke. I said, anybody have any Tic Tacs? And the guy said, yeah, I have one. Look at the size of that sucker. Can you see that, Pete? This is called Biden Tic Tacs.
He's making an inflation.
Can you see it,
size
Tom?
thing there.
This costs more money than the one that was like 10 times bigger. This is inflation. That's a perfect. The guy actually handed me. Do you have any Tic Tacs? Yeah, here, take mine, sir. I said, what the hell is that? Thank you very much.
There you go, Donald Trump. With a keep repeating Flounder on your Letter Rip Monday, as it turns out. We'll do some more presidential stuff here, if you don't mind, Flounder. And by the way, I hope Donald Trump, when all this is done and he becomes president again, I hope he goes after the people who personally tried to ruin him, who went after him for personal reasons. I hope he gets them back. And again, I'm not a role model here. Forgive and forget. Please, not in politics, not what they're doing to our country. I hope he gets them back and makes them suffer for the rest of their miserable lives after what they've done to this nation and to him specifically. Now, President Yell Screamer, the divider in chief, the worst president we've ever had for race relations, even worse than Putty Tat. Another hate speech.
Hold on, Trump is about to come up and start speaking.
Oh, excellent. We'll go live. It's Donald Trump just left court. Here we go. And again, the echo is going to be horrible. Here we go.
So what we saw, that was an incredible display. I've never seen anything like it in my life. A tyrant. And everyone's talking about it. This is what we have. We have an acting judge, appointed judge by Democrats, by the club. And they're keeping now, I guess this is our fourth week, soon to be our fifth week. Not campaigning, but you saw what happened, what just took place in that court. And hopefully the motion to dismiss this trial will go through, because this trial is a disaster for our country. It's a disaster for New York State, New York City. Greg Jarrett just says, where exactly is the crime? To quote a memorable line from Shakespeare in Love, I don't know, it's a mystery. There is just no crime. Andy McCarthy, if it's unconstitutional for Texas to enforce federal immigration law, how is it constitutional for New York to enforce federal election law? They're going by federal law. It's never happened before. Nobody's ever seen anything like this. This is a witch hunt. This is a witch hunt. This is to damage crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of our country, by far, to damage his political opponent. That's all this is. The highly political judge, a totally conflicted judge, who just did something that nobody's ever seen. And the press is not happy, I don't imagine. They just got thrown out of a courthouse. Nobody's ever seen anything quite like it. These things are consistent. Bragg has no authority to enforce election law. And we did nothing wrong. Ted Cruz has said it's over 200 years. Never once has a president of the United States been indicted over no crime. No crime. Molly Hemingway, very smart woman. This is a show trial. There is no actual crime or evidence. Molly Hemingway, respected by everybody, by the way. Here's a very liberal gentleman, but a very talented one, critically acclaimed director, Oliver Stone. Haven't heard his name mentioned in a while. It's a new form of warfare. It's called lawfare, and that's what they're using against Trump. That's Oliver Stone, who I think is a super liberal, but even he's talking. I must tell you, I've never had such liberal, or as they say nowadays, progressive support. Mark Levin. You're living through what is not only the worst presidency in American history, that's Biden, when it comes to domestic and foreign affairs, but when it comes to our Constitution, the rule of law, law and order, which is the core to this republic, Biden is dismantling it, and he's destroying it. I don't even know his name. I think it's the people around his desk, that beautiful, resolute desk in the Oval Office. It's a horrible thing. The country's never been in this position. We're doing badly in so many different ways, and we're falling apart, and we're not respected in the world anymore. They're looking at us and saying, hey, they're no different than we are. Bad countries are saying that. They're saying that the United States is no different than we are. Gavin Wax, the globalist elite, severely miscalculated by declaring war on Trump. I guess he's referring to the fact that the polls are through the roof, but I'm not even talking about that. And the polls are the highest they've ever been. Andrew and Katie Cherkasky, who are terrific lawyers, as everyone knows, it's past time for Judge Bichon to dismiss this case. Trump's business records, there's no false entry. By the way, they paid a legal expense and they marked it legal expense. And I say it every day. They could have said construction. They could have said this is for construction purposes. This is for some other purposes. You're building a building. They say building expense. They called legal fees, which is legal expense. They called it legal expense. They paid a lawyer money, legal expense. And in the lawyer's bill, he talks about retainer. It's a retainer. He calls it a retainer. Former Acting Attorney General Matt Whitaker, the prosecution has presented absolutely no evidence of a crime. David Katrin, the American Spectator, good people over there, Judge Mershon's animosity toward Trump and his inability to ensure a fair trial is not lost on the voters. Never seen anything like it. And this goes on and on. Ross Duhat,
Okay, it's getting kind of hard here. But anyway, what he does, he comes out and he has a list. He has a notepad, and he has a list of all the commentators who are saying he didn't do anything wrong, which is pretty cool. Anyway, Holy Crap of Sports is coming up, 5:15. Kipper, Pete, and Flounder. And we got so much more, and they're hoping the judge will throw it out. They've made the motion, and we'll see. Look out. Here we go.
Hey, it's Rhino from the Morning Extra, getting your weekday morning started from 6 to 10 a.m.
Y'all, we're in the midst of a revolution.
I saw it yesterday at USC with the paraphernalia that they did leave behind. They had 3 symbols. The middle symbol, Palestinian red hand symbol. The other was a swastika, and the other was a hammer and sickle, reminiscent of
Old
Soviet Union. This isn't about peace in the region anymore.
No,
this is about violence towards one group.
That's exactly right. And it's disturbing and it's alarming.
Well, again, I talk about 2020 and the energy that people had from the George Floyd incident. Suddenly people were looking at it like, how can I make friends with these people? You didn't realize they were Marxists and they didn't believe in Israel's right to exist either. But you were so busy, caught up in that fervor of trying to tell people, no, I'm a friend, I'm an ally, that you didn't realize what these people were doing. Hopefully this time around, you clearly see what these people are doing. It's the same playbook, it's the same fervor, but I don't think it's going to resonate the same way.
I certainly hope you're right.
The Morning Extra, 6 to 10 a.m. on Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Hi, I'm Mark Beckham with Atlanta Ramjack. We specialize in only foundation repair. What is foundation repair? Foundations sink or settle. These issues need to be addressed. It only becomes more costly the longer you put it off. What is the biggest cause of foundation problem? Either poor construction, inferior site preparation, or weather. Drought causes cracks in your foundations. If you see any signs of foundation issues, please contact us at atlantaramjack.com.
Have you considered securing your family's future, protecting your hard-earned assets, navigating complex legal matters with ease? Nelson Elder Care Law is here to guide and empower you and your loved ones. As a family-owned and family-focused business, our mission is to exceed your expectations, offering absolute assurance and peace of mind. With our trademarked Absolute Protection Trust and expertise in customized estate planning, Medicaid crisis solutions, probate administration, guardianship, and conservatorship, Nelson Elder Care Law protects what matters most to you. Imagine a team dedicated to safeguarding your legacy every step of the way. Our flat fees ensure transparency, and our customized plans prioritize your family's specific needs. Are you worried about protecting your family and your legacy after you're gone? Let us help you ensure you're absolutely protected from whatever curveballs life may throw your way. Schedule a complimentary legacy planning meeting with our legal team in Marietta or Woodstock today. Contact us at 678-250-9355 or visit at nelsoneldercarelaw.com.
Horizon Background Screening is a fully licensed and insured private investigations firm that focuses on litigation support for law firms, criminal defense cases, and background investigations. We are also FCRA compliant and process pre-employment background checks, tenant screening, and background checks for volunteer organizations. Whether your business is a law firm needing anything from scene investigations to witness interviews, or a company that requires pre-employment background checks, we have the experience you need. Visit horizonscreening.com to learn more. That's horizonscreening.com.
Millions of guys suffer from erectile dysfunction. That's 1 in 4 men. And I can tell you, I'm one of them.
If you or someone you know suffer from ED, Peyronie's disease, or PE, here's 38-year emergency room doctor and founder of Total Body Therapy of Georgia, Dr. Eric Deal.
Patients who enter my office are often frustrated, hopeless, depressed, and embarrassed. I understand the problem, and I'm going to help you fix it. There are lots of competitors that don't have the credentials that I have. When you go to other clinics, you're not going to see a board-certified physician with the experience that I have. When you come to our clinic, you're going to see me. There's just not one therapy that can solve these complex issues. I'll do a complete history and physical prior to any treatment that we use. Take it from me, Dr. Deal. When it's not hard, it's really hard.
Call Dr. Deal for your free one-on-one evaluation and resolve your ED, Peyronie's, or PE issues. Total Body Therapy of Georgia, 404-777-1911, 404-777-1911, online at stopmyed.com.
All right, look out. Our 5 o'clock hour is sponsored by Lee Brandt Jewelers. Luxury jewelry and watches are affordable. Drop by their store in Sandy Springs or visit LeeBrandt.com. Zach Brown got a Georgia court to get a restraining order against his wife. But first, holy crap, it's sports with Pete Davis.
Braves trying to right the ship today at Truist Park with a doubleheader against the Padres. And they're not off to a good start.
Uh-oh.
They did jump out to a 5-0 lead in Game 1 against Pod starter Dylan Cease as Marcell Ozuna and Matt Olson hit back-to-back homers in the third inning, but then allowed the Padres to storm back and win it 6-5. So for once, the offense does their job, but the pitching collapses after starter Reynaldo Lopez left after 6 in the third innings, gave up just 2 earned runs. But Joe Jimenez not only blew the save, he took the loss, gave up 3 hits, 2 walks, and 4 earned runs, and managed to do all that in just 1 inning, the 8th inning. Not good timing. Yeah. Padres second baseman Xander Bogaerts injured his left shoulder and was removed from Game 1. So we'll find out what's going on with him. Right-hander Daysbel Hernandez brought up so they could have a 27-man roster for this twin bill. The Braves are now 5.5 games behind the Phillies.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Wow. Phillies. Wow.
Yeah, Game 2. Well, the Phillies aren't going anywhere. They hit, and they've got good pitching too.
Yeah.
So, and they're not folding at home against a team that was under 500 when they came in here Friday. Which, whatever, it's baseball. This happens.
Yeah.
Game 2 at 6:20. The right-hander Randy Vasquez, who's 0-2 with an ERA over 6. Against the 6-1 Chris Sale. If they can't beat this guy and get swept,
we're coming down there.
We're going to pull the lineup out of a hat is what we're going to do. Heads are going to roll. Travis d'Arnaud, Adam Duvall, and Zach Short are in the lineup. Austin Riley still not swinging. Matt Olson, though, has played in 501 straight games. That's the longest streak in Major League Baseball. Yeah,
excellent. Good.
The Bryce Elder in the rotation era may be over after his non-performance Sunday night and the loss to San Diego 9-1. Manager Brian Snitker says they're looking into making lefty reliever Ray Kerr into a starter. Elder has been sent down to Gwinnett, and Darius Vines has been brought up. So after the doubleheader today, the Braves are off on a 6-game road trip to Wrigley Field and Pittsburgh. And you got to feel sorry for former Braves third base coach Ron Washington, maybe at wit's end in Anaheim. Last week, he erupted when the right call went against the Angels in a loss, and over the weekend, they lost 2 out of 3 to the Rangers. Game 1 of that series, the Halos went 5 for 19 with men in scoring position. In Game 2, they went 0 for 18 with runners in scoring position.
I think they need some
hitters. They did win yesterday, though.
Yeah. Well, didn't you say when he took that job, you thought that might? I think didn't you say that might have been a mistake? He should have gotten another club.
Mistake.
He had nothing to work with. And Mike Trout, that's hurt all the time. I mean, gee.
If that's the only one that'll give him a job, then that's the only one that would have given him a job. So he took it. Yeah. Auburn running back Brian Batty injured in a shooting in critical condition. The shooting was Saturday in Florida. Claimed the life of his older brother, Tommy. took place outside of a hookah bar in Sarasota Saturday morning. Batty's a senior, played at South Florida, then transferred to Auburn, and was a backup last year. Running back, was basically the number one kick returner for him last year. So pretty good player, but now he's injured. In 1971, after a downturn in Alabama football success, legendary coach Bear Bryant closed practice to all outsiders. The Bear was secretly revamping his offense to use the newfangled wishbone, and boy, did it surprise everybody and led to a great run for Bama throughout the 70s. So, could the Falcons and brand spanking new head coach Raheem Morris be taking a page out of the Bears' book? Due to ongoing construction at IBM Performance Field, and I'm using air quotes while saying this, the Falcons are unable to host fans on site through training camp and will instead host fans at off-site locations for 2 open practices. Now, I'm guessing the media horde will still be allowed in, so I doubt the Falcons are coming up with some revolutionary new way to play football, but wouldn't it be nice if they were? Yeah. Meanwhile, the Super Bowl champion Chiefs and the NFL have a major problem with Kansas City place kicker Harrison Butker espousing traditional Catholic beliefs to a Catholic audience at a supposedly Catholic university. But they seem to have no problem with Shee Rice participating at full squad off-season practice. Rice, arrested this spring in Dallas, Texas, charged with 1 count of aggravated assault, 1 count of collision involving serious bodily injury, and 6 counts of collision involving injury for his involvement in a 6-car crash he allegedly created. Police have alleged that Rice was racing another vehicle over 119 miles per hour. And he's being sued for over $1 million for a couple people that were injured. He's also suspect in an alleged assault that injured a man at a nightclub earlier this month. So why is Rice getting a pass while Butker isn't? Well, 1, because the NFL cares more about wokeness than reality, and 2, Rice led the Chiefs receivers in catches, yards, and touchdowns as a rookie last season. So if you can do something with the ball, who cares? Rape, murder, killing people in a freeway crash. Who cares?
My goodness. I still can't believe the uproar over the fact that a guy at a Catholic university talked about Catholic religious stuff and he's being doxxed and nailed for it. Just outrageous.
Well, you notice he stood his ground and has not apologized.
Oh, hell, absolutely. So, and people are finally some leftists are coming out too. Beauty queens. I mean, some and modern women are saying, "No, wait a minute. That's you can't be doing that. That's just wrong. Let the men speak."
Yeah. Finally, some excitement in NASCAR. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. threw a right hook at Kyle Busch, and suddenly the boring all-star race at North Wilkesboro Speedway, fans were buzzing heading to next weekend's Coca-Cola 600 up in Charlotte. Busch had wrecked Stenhouse on the second lap of the $1 million race Sunday night, a move that looked like retaliation for how Stenhouse had raced him earlier. So Stenhouse drove his damaged Chevy to Busch's pit stall and parked it. And with no way to get out of the track while the race was going on, stewed in street clothes for hours until Busch arrived at his hauler. That's when Ricky, after a brief conversation, threw a right hook at the driver of the number 8 Chevrolet, setting off a brief melee that involved members of each driver's crew and Stenhouse's father. The brawl eventually broken up, but not before Stenhouse vowed, "I'm going to wreck you at Charlotte."
Oh, boy.
"Bring it," Busch replied. "I suck as bad as you," implying they're both having bad years. So it could be a suspension. We'll see. And maybe a suspension for his daddy as well for getting involved in the melee. So, by the way, we have got sound of Stenhouse emoting.
Oh. Here it is right now.
"I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore."
And he didn't.
Go to your windows.
Yeah, they were all falling over tires and everything. It's pretty funny. NBA, the defending champion Nuggets had a 20-point lead in the third quarter at home in Game 7 of their series with the Timberwolves, only to lose in a historic comeback, 98-90, to end their one-year reign as the champs. On the bright side, 3-time MVP Nikola Jokic can go home early to Serbia to play and kiss his horses.
Oh, thank you. It's not just me.
Yeah. Xander Schauffele is no longer the best golfer in the world without a major after edging out Bryson DeChambeau by 1 stroke at the PGA Championship at Valhalla. He immediately lifted a flagon of mead and gave a toast to the Allfather Odin. Or not. See, Valhalla.
Schauffele.
Schauffele recorded the lowest 72-hole score in par to the lowest 72-hole scoring total, 263, in a major. It was the 9th straight PGA Championship won by an American. Despite the close loss, DeChambeau became a hero to the fans afterwards. As he was walking up the course, he tossed a ball to a young boy. But some ne'er-do-well adult reached over and snatched the ball from the boy's grasp, then ran away like a little girl. Bryson immediately bristled and started yelling at the loser.
man for the people.
The people's champ, indeed. He was mad. He was going to go over there and get that guy. And he ran. He knew what he was doing. He ran.
Yeah,
you know,
but I think
but
he
came back.
Yeah, he gave the kid the ball as he should have.
Yeah, he brought it back, and he stood there. So he took his crap.
Yeah, DeChambeau's the guy who changed his entire body and his entire swing. Is he the one who has all the clubs the same length?
Well, now
Also-
he's changed it back.
Oh, he did?
He's
Oh.
lost most of that muscle. He's come back to
But he's
basically
still
in the last 2
kills it.
years.
Yeah.
He's completely changed the way the public looks at him, the way he's acted. It's
Yes, it
really
has.
really good
Yep.
transformation.
Absolutely.
And the People's inmate Scotty Scheffler ended up tied for 8th, once more fulfilling the prophecy that no player arrested after the first round of a major has ever gone on to win that tournament.
Well, by golly.
Mr. Raider has died.
Oh, no.
Who is Mr. Raider?
Mr. Raider. Oh, I know this and I can't remember. I don't know this. I know the name.
Jim-
and I don't know why.
Jim Otto.
Oh, of course, the Raider, number 60.
Yeah.
No, I can't think of 66. No, it wasn't 66. That was, what's his name? Jim Otto. Yeah, very famous Hall of Fame. Sorry.
Yeah, you know him well.
No.
You know his whole back of his football card there, obviously.
Yes, I do.
Pro Football Hall of Fame center, his iconic number 00 jersey for Otto.
Yep.
Anchored the middle of the Oakland Raiders offensive line for 15 seasons. He's passed away at age 86. The dominant center of his era. He was before Jeff Van Note. He had a singular goal. Never will they kick my butt. And he never missed a game. All-Pro, first team 10 times. Some have suggested his face is the eye patch-wearing logo on the side of the team's helmet. He says, yeah, that's fine, but they need a broken nose there. Basically, he was the only all-AFL center in the league's entire existence from 1960 to 69. Only one of 3 players who played in all 140 AFL games. George Blanda and Gino Cappelletti, the others of the regular season. Otto said the hardest hit he ever received in a game was from Packers great Ray Nitschke in 72. Quote, he broke my face mask, which broke my nose and set it over here, broke my cheekbone and my zygomatic arch bone and detached my retina in my left eye. I was blind for half a year in my left eye. It was really bad. It all swelled up and I couldn't see, but I kept playing. I never left the game.
Tough guys back then. And
74
Nitschke?
surgeries, 20 concussions, right leg amputated above the knee, had prostate cancer. Basically, he said there were many times I'd walk off the field, my eyes were crossed. I would have amnesia for 2 days. I'd look at my wife and I'd say, who's this chick?
Oh, boy.
Otto inducted in the Hall of Fame in 1980, first year of eligibility. In 2019, named to the NFL All-Time Team, NFL 100. By the way, Jim Otto, undrafted.
No kidding. I did not. Do you know where did he play at college? You know, have any idea?
He was a Hurricane, Miami.
Oh, Miami, really? And I'm amazed he lived to be 86 with all that concussion stuff and the brain. Oh, my God.
Tough man.
Wow. Thank you, Pete. 531. A couple of birthdays coming up for that stuff of sports thing. Zach Brown, married for 4 months. They broke up, and now he got his Georgia judge to give him a restraining order against his bride, who's now his ex. Coming
Well,
up
we've all
on
been there.
the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder on 106.3. Holy smokes. The legend Neil Bortz is only on Extra 106.3. Hey, it's a Kimmer. How's it going? Here's what you missed from the Talkmaster.
Let's look at the trial of Donald Trump and the hush money and Stormy Daniels. Did they have to introduce evidence that Stormy spanked Donald Trump and that he didn't wear a condom? No. To make the case that hush money was paid, all they had to do is prove that there was sex. Why the spanking? Why the no condom? Easy. To try to make Donald Trump look bad, not only to the jury, but to the electorate.
Catch Neil's commentary every day on Extra 106.3 or listen anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watch Company, where quality and value make the difference. Locally owned and located in Sandy Springs, offering you the finest selection of unique diamonds, sapphires, rubies, and emerald jewelry, as well as other fine gemstones. Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watches has been servicing Rolex watches for over 30 years, and their Rolex-trained watchmaker will service your watch in their state-of-the-art Rolex service center in their store. Lee Brandt uses only genuine Rolex parts, and their estimates are free. Drop by Lee Brandt in the Trader Joe's Shopping Center in Sandy Springs or visit LeeBrandt.com.
Hey there, I'm Tara, owner and publisher of Our Town Monthly Magazine, where you'll find familiar faces, local voices, and community businesses like Celebration Village of Ackworth.
Hi, I'm Jocelyn Cochran, Executive Director for Celebration Village Ackworth, the area's premier senior living community right here in Cobb County. We are located in Ackworth, Georgia, conveniently right off Cobb Parkway, Highway 41, within a mile of prime retailers, but still providing the privacy and peace of nature. We're offering true continuum of care with independent living, concierge living, assisted living, and memory care apartments. We currently offer the largest independent living apartments in our market. Our residents enjoy restaurant-style dining with seasonal menus featuring fresh ingredients and home-style meals. We offer resort-style amenities, transportation services, and a true maintenance-free lifestyle. We have had a long-running relationship with Our Town Monthly because we share the motto, family and community first.
Thanks, guys. We adore your amazing community. Friends, check out Celebration Village of Ackworth. It's a true senior living retreat. Tell them Our Town said hello.
Hey, it's Lowe's for Skag and Howard Brothers. There's a Skag mower that is perfect for the homeowner. The Skag Liberty Z is specifically designed for the homeowner who wants a high-quality mower but does not need a large commercial-grade unit. Now, you can buy something that will last and perform at a very high level. The Liberty Z is designed, manufactured, and assembled Skag tough, just like every other Skag product. You can't get Skag power equipment at a big box store. You've got to go to your locally owned and independent dealer like Howard Brothers. The grass is always greener when you take care of it with Skag and Howard Brothers.
Well, Michael, I want to thank you for your time, but unfortunately, we can't offer you the position.
Why?
Well, we got the results of your background check, and quite frankly, we were concerned.
About what?
Apparently, you were arrested for throwing a shopping cart at a customer?
In my defense, he had it coming.
At Horizon Background Screening, we find things that other companies don't. That's why companies that use us make smarter hiring decisions. Don't let the wrong hire put your company at risk. Get the real story on your candidates at horizonscreening.com.
I enjoy a good night's sleep, and I like to breathe while I'm sleeping. My wife appreciates that, too. That's why I wear a CPAP. You want the right machine. You want expert advice. You want all the supplies that go with it. You get it all at CPAPs, etc. in Alpharetta. Machines, masks, tubing, filters, cleaning supplies, all of it, and they ship nationwide. Walk-ins, by the way, are welcome. CPAPs, etc. Alpharetta, CPAPSETC.com.
Thinking about building your dream home or remodeling your current house? Then stop everything and listen to me. Jim Niarchos here from the All Four Seasons Home Show. You need to tune in this Saturday morning at 9 when our special guest will be Peter Michelson from Allaire Homes. Peter is going to share the key points that you need to know before you commit or spend a dime with anybody. The All Four Seasons Home Show bringing you the best businesses, helping you make a wise consumer decision, save money, and not get ripped off.
Now until the end of May, True Prep in Marietta on Cobb Parkway is having their annual spring cleaning sale. Guys, it's Rhino, and let me tell you about some of the great deals they have going on that you should capitalize on. They have some great deals on Alpine Air prepackaged food. Stock up. They have some great deals on all sorts of ammo, some even to 25% off. Even magazines for Glock and Springfield are on sale now. Head to True Prep in Marietta on Cobb Parkway or visit them online at trueprep.com. That's TRU prep.com. Prepare today for a worry-free tomorrow at True Prep.
Hello, baby. And a little impatience.
Ever since I was a young boy, I played the silver ball.
There we go.
From Soho down to Brighton, I must have played them all. But I ain't seen nothing like him in any amusement hall.
Yeah, what does that mean?
That deaf, dumb, and blind kid sure plays a mean pinball.
Well, it was on this day, 1966. Pete Townsend and Roger Daltrey of The Who got sick and tired of waiting for John Entwistle and Keith Moon to show up for their gig at the Ricky Tick Club in Windsor, England. So they took to the stage with the bass player and the drummer of the local band that opened the show. When Keith Moon and Entwistle finally arrived in the middle of the set, there was a fight. And Townsend beat up Moon on the head with his guitar. Moon and Entwistle quit the band and rejoined a week later, and it was kind of an upending event there in 1966. Anyway, they were late, and that's what they got. Another music story coming up here in a second. Zach Brown, I had no idea. I guess I'm out of the loop. A couple leftovers from Pete's Holy Grail Sports thing. Tony Stewart birthday, NASCAR superstar, 53. Is he still racing? He's not racing now, is he? He's gone, right? Tony Stewart, 50. The guy they love to hate. Man, they used to love to hate Tony Stewart because he was, like a poster boy and all this kind of real goody thing kind of stuff. They used to hate him.
No, he wasn't goody two-shoes. Tony Stewart spoke his mind.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess. But
Jeff Gordon was a goody two-shoes.
Jeff Gordon, that's what I was thinking of, too. Yeah, he was the pretty boy. And on this day in 2009, Michael Vick, released from Leavenworth Penitentiary. He was served 19 months for torturing and slaughtering innocent dogs. Which will have him go to hell when he dies. Also on this day, we've been talking for a long time now about events that happen and particularly in the 60s compared to what the kind of the protest things were going on today. And there's a story that I will tell you now very quickly. On this day in 1969, the place was called Apia Mountain, but it was much better known as Hamburger Hill. North Vietnamese troops, hardened veterans of the Tet Offensive a year before, taken on the Army infantry and South Vietnamese troops for 10 days. The mountain came under heavy airstrikes, artillery barrages, 10 infantry assaults, heavy tropical rainstorms, and invisibility. Let me tell you, when the rainy season in Vietnam is not your normal rainy season. I mean, they're not fooling around. A bitter fighting, the high casualty, Apia Mountain was called Hamburger Hill. A 19-year-old sergeant named James Spears said, "Have you ever been inside a hamburger machine? We just got cut to pieces by accurate machine gun fire." One guy says, "We don't know how much longer we can take it." After the 11th assault, the North Vietnamese stronghold was captured on this day, 1969. Thousands of U.S. troops and South Vietnamese soldiers fought their way to the top. The 4-battalion attack with the North Vietnamese was over as they retreated into the sanctuary of Laos. The reason I'm mentioning this is because 5 days after the hard-won victory, American troops abandoned Hamburger Hill. A general named Zeish was quoted as saying the only significance of the hill was the fact that your North Vietnamese were on it. The hill itself had no tactical significance. So 5 days after all that slaughter of hundreds and hundreds of troops killed, 5 days after American troops took it, they abandoned it. And guess what? A few weeks later, the North Vietnamese came back and took it again. And in fact, just the legacy, by the way, that bloody battle of Hamburger Hill and the victory that resulted in them leaving after 5 days and the North Vietnamese taking it over again, led once again on American soil, 1969. This was I'd just come home, explosive protest because of stuff like this. I mean, the country was reacting, and again, it was the living room war. I forgot the guy won the Pulitzer Prize for, I think it was called The Living Room War, about Vietnam. You sit down for dinner, and on TV, you're seeing it.
So those men died for some general's ego?
Well, no, it was like this. Spotters, try to find out where the enemy is. So someone said, "Hey, there's enemy up on this hill. Let's go get it. Let's go kill the enemy." So they killed the enemy, which was good. But then they didn't keep the hill for any strategic reason. They just, they went and killed the enemy and lost all those troops. And it turned out to be another, shallow victory where you kill and then you leave and then they take it over again. In fact, I'm not making this up. I mentioned I hit balls over the weekend. On Saturday, I was hitting balls at this range out there, and I was wearing my Marine Corps hat or something, and a guy could tell I'm an old guy. There was a guy next to me, a black guy next to me, and he said, "I'll bet you were in Vietnam." And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah, me too. The big red one in 1970 or something like that." And he said, the big red one, Army Division. And he said, I swear to God, incredibly, he said, the only problem about that, coming back and everything, the only problem I had with it is that every time you claim a damn victory, they just give it away and you leave and they take it over again. I couldn't, and I went home that night looking up the history and the story of Hamburger Hill. A guy on the driving range. I'd never known before or since happened to bring up that issue of a thing. I mean, it's just I tell you, it's just weird stuff. Yes.
By the way, one of the best war movies ever, Lee Marvin, the big red one about World War II.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely true. Let's see, 542, Far Cry. Oh, should we do a President's Stupid Face? You want to do one where he's yelling and screaming? Let's do that. If you haven't heard this again, this is so offensive. There's never been a president of the United States in history ever who screamed at half the country and called them bad and wrong and bad for America.
To me, we make history, not erase it. We know black history is American history.
Why are you yelling? Not leadership.
Black power.
Many of you graduates don't know me, but check my record. You know what I'm saying. I mean from my gut.
Gotcha.
We know black men are going to help us lead us to the future. Black men from this class in this university.
Yeah. Oh, big applause there. It must have been 9 people clapping.
Graduates, this is what we're up against.
Listen to this. Oh, my
Extremist forces. Aligned against the meaning and message of more.
That's us. The mean extremist forces. That's me and you. This is a president who deliberately is dividing all he can every time he can at the top of his voice. He's just screaming and yelling. He also pretended that he was in charge of that. Putty-Tat sent him out to take care of the COVID thing when he was vice president. It wasn't a COVID thing when he was vice president, so he just made that up again about how he was solving the COVID issue. Jeez, God. 554. Flounder, let's play that Libs of TikTok. The Flounder found this, a guy on a beach, an American beach, and he goes, there's two people are on the back enjoying their family outing on the beach, and they put up these small American flags in the sand. And here's what this guy thinks about taking his family to a beach that shows American flags.
I'm here enjoying a nice day at the beach with my kids, and I turn around, I got these flags planted here on the beach by these MAGA Listen, this is all America. We know you didn't storm the beaches to stake out your territory on the beach. This isn't the moon. I get it. This is America. But I'm sick of my flag being represented by white nationalist trash on a goddamn beach. Go yourselves.
Yeah. Well, you noticed that some reaction on social media I saw. I noticed that, he was saying this way away from the people with the American flags in the on the sand. He wasn't confronting them. He was confronting his cell phone so he could make a point about how much he hates America. What the hell is wrong with America? You're an American. How could you be offended by the American flag? Especially as a white privileged guy. I mean, he looked like he was pretty well, he just looked like a successful guy and intelligent in his vicious and leftist democratic way. They try to use this stuff, and use even big words to try to, again, divide America. These are haters.
He's been taught since kindergarten to hate himself, his skin, his family, his God, and his country.
It's just wrong in every way. And they're calling us names? Yeah, try that. Well, I'll put a flag on the beach and come over and talk to me about it face to face. I mean, we need more violence. We need more confrontations.
Yes. We do. Yeah, but they probably wouldn't mess with you because you would also have a Marine flag next to your American flag.
My cover on. Yeah, I'd be Marine Corps cover. Yeah. Anyway,
I want to party with this guy.
546. The Zach Brown story. I can't believe this. Coming up next, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. I know that Flounder's funny too. Well, I guess so.
If you love news and talk, you have to connect with the biggest personalities in the South at thepodcastpark.com. It's more original Atlanta content from Atlanta's hometown talk crew. From legal news to sports and politics, and even archives of interviews from years past. Find the podcast that you love and subscribe everywhere you get podcasts.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
Now, I know there are plenty of HVAC companies out there, but let me tell you why Central Heating and Air Conditioning stands out from the rest. These days, it's hard to tell who's on first. Everybody wants to play. Many of the local HVAC companies, though, have been sold to large conglomerates. And some are even coming back under new names. But at Central Heating and Air Conditioning, they never left the field. They've been your hometown team since 1947, and their dedication to our community has never wavered. They are the Grand Slam you can count on. Central's team of experts know the game inside and out, delivering dependable service and personalized solutions every time. So don't get caught off base. Choose the HVAC team that's always been in the game. Get Carrier products, Carrier warranty, and Carrier peace of mind. Turn to your Atlanta Carrier experts. Central Heating and Air Conditioning. Call them today, 770-GET-HEAT, or visit them online at centralheat.com.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
Do you know that most people describe remodeling as stressful? Does that sound like your experience? Hi, this is Candace from Excavations, and have I got a tip for you. With Excavations as your partner, you'll get a completely different remodeling experience. How? Well, besides covering the very basics like showing up on time, cleaning up your property each day, not smashing your flowers or bushes, and not pressuring you to buy today because this huge deal expires tonight. We also cover the big things like a written project schedule so you know when workers are coming and when they're not. A fixed price quote so you're guaranteed that what you pay is exactly what you committed to up front. And a design of what your home will look like so you're not left guessing if you're even going to like the finished product. Discover what stress-free remodeling looks like and schedule your free quote today at exovations.com. That's EXOVATIONS.com.
Tax season can be stressful, but it's also a wake-up call. It's time to think beyond April and plan for your future. At Master Plan Retirement Consultants, we're not just advisors, we're your partners in building a secure retirement. At Master Plan Retirement Consultants, we understand the challenges Georgians face. That's why we offer personalized strategies to maximize your retirement income, minimize taxes, and ensure you never outlive your assets. Join the Master Plan family and let us guide you through every financial milestone. Visit masterplanretire.com to schedule your appointment today. Master Plan Retirement Consultants, where your journey and destination are both important. Visit masterplanretire.com to schedule your complimentary consultation today.
Advisory services offered through Master Plan Retirement Consultants, Inc., a registered investment advisory in the state of Georgia. Insurance, tax, and commodity services offered through Fricks & Associates, Inc., DBA Master Plan Retirement Consultants. The aforementioned are affiliated companies.
Help Special Olympics Georgia cheer on the Flame of Hope as it makes its way to Emory University for the 2024 Special Olympics Georgia State Summer Games. The Flame of Hope will be escorted by the local law enforcement torch run officers. Be on the lookout for the torch run going through Atlanta and ending at the opening ceremony for the Summer Games on May 24th. Want to get involved? Support a Special Olympics Georgia athlete today by adopting a duck at duckrace.com/Atlanta. All proceeds will help provide meals and housing for the Georgia athletes. That's duckrace.com/Atlanta.
Insurance companies know that you don't know a lot about the law, so maybe it would be better just to let your lawyer make the call to the insurance company when there's a problem. David Van Sant should be that lawyer. He used to work for the insurance company. He knows who to call, what to say, and he has your best interest at heart. Plus, if you don't get paid, either does he. Van Sant Law, 855 GA Injury or vansantlaw.com.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
551, how you doing? Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, 106.3. Folks are trickling in to go see Game 2 of the Braves doubleheader today, 6:20-ish or something coming up. And Bob Dylan and the band here, 1966. They played at ABC Theatre in Edinburgh, Scotland. Some members of the audience were unhappy because Bob Dylan had gone electric and attempted to overpower the band by playing their own harmonicas against Dylan and the band trying to play in Scotland. That's when he's trying to play electric guitar. That's kind of nasty. Let's see. Birthdays real quickly. Dave Thomas, 75. Not the Wendy's dead guy. 75-year-old Dave Thomas, the guy who did the Bob and Doug McKenzie bit with Rick Moranis. 75 years old. Ron Reagan, little Ronnie, is 66 today. And let's see. Rachel Platten from Fight Song, 43. Yes, sir?
Dave Thomas did the best Bob Hope impression I ever saw.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Yes,
no
wonderful.
kidding. Well, I'll have to put the Google machine on it. Abe Lincoln, on this day, 1862, signed the original Homestead Exemption Act. This made a lot of sense. It gave people a freehold title for up to 160 acres of undeveloped federal land outside the original 13 colonies. Abe Lincoln's 1862. And a vicious racist mob of all-white Democrats in 1961 attacked the Freedom Riders. The result of the new Supreme Court decision gave them the right to ignore local segregation ordinances about crossing state lines. So they got into a big fight about it, as racist as they were. And let's see. The first 1899, the first speeding ticket. A New York City guy named Jacob German, the first speeding ticket, driving too fast, the speed limit was 12. On this day in 1989, Toonsis the Driving Cat debuted on Saturday Night Live in 1989. What a great bit. I mean, who'd have thought? Who thought of that and it would be funny?
Probably Steve Martin.
I wouldn't be surprised. And speaking of that, Gilda Radner died of ovarian cancer on this day at 42 in 1989, same day. Again, I never forget how sweet she was, and my wife made her a cake for her birthday when she was on the show with me in the 70s. And let's see. How about that's fine. We got enough stuff going on there. The Zac Brown story. This is amazing. Zac Brown and his bride have been married for 4 months and not anymore. Zac Brown. Let's see. His estranged wife is fighting back after he got a restraining order against her. They were married for 4 months. He filed for divorce. She shared her side of the story, but she violated a confidentiality agreement, much like the Stormy Daniels and Donald Trump. Once again, a confidentiality agreement. She said there were posts where she accused Brown of narcissistic abuse. So he filed a restraining order granted by a Georgia court. No one, not even Zac Brown, with all his money, power, celebrity, and lawyers, may silence my right to freely express myself through art, or, although I have to date declined to do it publicly, to speak about the circumstances of our pending divorce, she wrote on TikTok. I'll respond swiftly to meritless complaints about publication of my poems, divulge any confidential information. But holy cow, married 4 months? And she's apparently threatened violations of the agreement May 17th. He wants to enforce it. The Georgia court granted the restraining order, meaning she'll be required to remove the Instagram posts that violate the confidentiality agreement. 4-month-long marriage. Well, I don't know what the hell that's all about. Doesn't see here. What were they? Was it just all fighting? Well, 4 months? That's got to be a record. No. By the way, George Clooney's wife, Amal, and the Night Visitors, she's the one who convinced prosecutors to file the United Nations charges against Netanyahu for the... it's unbelievable.
She?
I know, it's unbelievable.
Who is this woman?
She's an international lawyer of some repute, and she apparently is big into that. When they got married, that's what she was known as, an international lawyer. An international, civil liberties lawyer. Well, here we go.
International lawyer of mystery.
Yeah, is that that's unbelievable. And by the way, this girl, Cassie Ventura's lawyers, the girl that Sean Diddy Combs beat the crap out of, are saying, it's not really, he didn't really apologize. He denied everything, suggested his victim's looking for a payday. He was only compelled to apologize once his repeated denials were proven false, and everybody saw the video. So now, again, what may happen, because the statute of limitations for the crime of beating her is long gone. So I'm sure, but again, I can't imagine his career will continue in any capacity. I can't imagine why. Let's see. Oh, this is an unbelievable story. I tried to get in. I waited too late. A woman in Louisiana disappeared. 58-year-old woman, grandmother of 7, disappeared. Her daughters went on a search. The police were called to Union Parish, Louisiana. Her boyfriend said, we haven't seen her. What's going on? They sent out police dogs. They looked for her everywhere. She was only wearing pink pajamas when she left the house. Something happened. They never found anything. So the daughters called a woman in Michigan who's a psychic medium named Carol Clapper. And she did this. She said, I talked to him for 45 minutes pro bono. She had listened in on the conversation on the three-way phone. She gave us information no one would have known unless they were there or knew our mom. None of it could have been found on the internet anywhere else. She described my mother, her personally, and her personality, the uniqueness of relationships with those close to her. She could see everything without us telling her everything. She described the exterior of our house down to the color of the carpet and where everything was, including items that were left behind after my mother disappeared. She insisted we take both notes because I'm about to tell you where your mother is, and your mother is speaking through me. I'm going to tell you step-by-step directions. Where to find my remains. I head south on foot, come to a huge pronounced log. I show where the log was stopped, Ashley in her tracks. There'd be a creek behind the log. It's where I saw the remains. And sure enough, the dogs had been through, didn't find anything, but that's where the family found her body. And eventually, police discovered that's where she was. A psychic from Michigan described the house, their belongings, the color of their stuff, and where to find the body because the body was talking to the psychic. And now, Flounder's Funnies for Hoagies, for Nucky's Hoagies.
That's a segue.
Nucky's Hoagies. Now, speaking of comedy.
I started working in the nursery. Y'all, anybody work in the nursery at your church? You got to do it. It's the best because these babies cannot rat you out if it all goes wrong. And we're a sticker church. Y'all putting stickers on the kids when you check them in at your church. These big churches do it. We're tagging these kids like they're in the wild. It's weird. And parents lose that piece of paper at my church. I don't know what your policy is at your church, but I don't put up with that mess in my nursery. You come back without that paper, I'm like, I'm sorry. We're keeping him, okay? He works for Jesus now, all right? You knew the risks. Like, you know me, that's my son. I just dropped him off. I'm like, sir, look, okay. Without the receipt, the best I can do is store credit. And then I let him pick out a child of equal or lesser value. We get out so many redheads, y'all. It's unbelievable.
Who's that, Flounder?
His name is Johnny W. He didn't give his last name.
All right. I got to go. You're killing me. It's only the camera with Pete and Flounder. Look out, Herb. Sing me home, Christine. Herb.
This is WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. Locally owned and heard throughout Georgia on the Extra app.